Streaming live. Streaming live. Streaming live, West Palm Beach, Florida.
All right. Hello. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for tuning in here at the Action Palace at, Pbkc. I'm Matt, and I'm joined today by...
Terry J.
All right, and we're going to be bringing you our $150
PLO. That's
I
Pot
almost
Limit
said
Omaha.
no limit.
I know.
Pot Limit Omaha.
No, see, this is
I
this is
fumbled
why
my
I do the
words already.
intros. I was eating.
All right, so our PLO event, 3K guaranteed. So let's head over to the table and pick up the action on the very first hand.
Thank you.
It's technically not the very first hand. This is technically like the 82nd hand, but we're down to
See that little graphic? Hand. One.
easy with the graphics. We started at 11 o'clock today, guys. We had a total so far. We had a total of I just lost it.
31 entrants.
31 entries. We'll have a few more by the time it's all said and done.
Yeah, Chief Waka, we got the fan going because it's so hot down here usually because the sun's coming right on the window. But it makes my hair look epic going in the wind like that.
No, it looks.
I think it's
You
cool.
look like an action star.
Yeah,
5 players.
like Indiana Jones and stuff.
So we got nobody out there with an 8 right now.
It would be handy with that flop.
We got a couple of flush draws coming through on the turn.
And
No one with a queen.
Is that a queen? Yep, it is a queen.
Wow, sixes are gonna take it. Sixes and queens.
Actually, yes. I almost said no
Actually,
because
what?
Three cards on the board have to play, and 2 have to play.
Matthew, listen. I've been on Thursday's PLO. You just follow me, buddy, and we'll take you into the sunset, okay?
It's gonna be queen and 6.
We'll ride off into the sunset together, buddy. This is the game where you get 4 cards. You have to play 2 in your hand. No low.
It's ingrained into my brain. It was a very expensive lesson the first time I played this game.
And probably a few times after that as well.
Nah, just the one.
Oh, just the one? You're the only one.
Well, no, I had 3 7s in my hand, and I flopped a 7. So I'm coming hard like I got quads.
We were going to walk her to the
And I
parking
got beat by a straight.
I was about to say, it's still a good hand. I mean, not pre-flop.
No,
Once you
it
flop
was,
the
right.
7, it's a good
Yeah.
hand, but obviously.
I said, I got quads, and
Big shot.
We had a
the
guy
whole
on
table was laughing at me. The dealer was trying her best to keep from laughing at me. She's like, no, sir, you have 3 of kind sets.
We had a guy on stream a few months ago who did that exact same thing. He thought he had a full house because he had 3 of kind in his hand. Same thing. He had 3 of kind to a straight flush, and he thought he had a straight flush. So he ended up still chopping somehow.
Wow,
Still trying to
lucky
figure
for
that
him.
one out. Yeah. Yes, sir.
It was an expensive lesson for sure.
Man, do we have a guarantee today?
Yes, 3K.
Holy smokes! Oh, that's right. You know what? Last week we had a $1,000 overlay on our PLO tournament, and I think everybody heard about it. That's why they're all here.
Yeah.
And now we got 1,500 over the.
We got a 31st entrant right at the gun, right
Hey,
before the break expired. So we're going to be paying 4 spots today, not 3.
Maybe they have
Okay.
tough skin. Is that a bad
Last week it was 2.
Tough skin.
Yeah, it was 2 last week.
Yeah. So you're going to see a lot. I know this is one of your first PLO Thursdays that you've done with us. I know you obviously know
not
the
really.
game. It really is because I'm here almost every Thursday.
Right. It's been my first Thursday PLO in I'd say about 8 months.
Okay. Well, you're going to see a lot of, I don't want to say slow playing, but you're going to see a lot of pre-flop calls. Once Jeff gets a big stack, he likes to start around.
That's true of any game. that
Right,
Jeff's in.
100%.
If he gets a stack, he's going to start bullying you.
Well, this game is no different, but especially with the play around, you're not going to see too many raises pre-flop, which,
Right.
especially in any Omaha game, whether it's tournament or cash, I mean, you should be potting it and getting the pots bigger and really taking advantage of your range.
Danger zone.
The one piece of shit poker guy is trying to keep me from winning 3 weeks in a row.
Oh, PLO.
Yeah, you guys get me instead of Sal today.
Have we been back?
I would promise to try to bring his usual energy, but I know I'll fail.
I don't think anybody.
Nobody's got the energy that Sal's got.
No.
It was me, Tim, not Tim Poker Cabbage, but the other Tim, and
We getting any of this fan?
that kid with the glasses.
Yes.
I getting it? I thought you meant am I getting it in the headphones. Yeah, I'm getting
Read
it.
it like this.
They
Yeah,
can
you
read. They can
you
read.
gotta kind of.
No, they can read like
can
that.
read like
Yeah.
that.
Go ahead.
All right, Colorama all around.
6
Jeff
players.
in the big blind, who's got kings.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him check here, actually, especially with his chip stack.
Yeah, he checked.
He's got all the blockers to the
Oh, wow,
nuts,
he
but
does.
there's just so many outs out there. Benny's got a monster.
Exactly.
Benny's got a straight draw, flush draw, nut flush draw.
Yeah, not probably the worst flop ever for kings.
Especially with no, I mean, he was Badoogie too.
Yeah.
And no straight draws.
3 players.
Oh, I'm getting that hug.
Benny just calling here. Not a big fan of the call. We got a set of 10s from Chuck.
You got Chuck.
Jen picked up a flush draw
Three
with
of you?
her straight draw.
Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Not this time.
Nope.
Set of 10s are going to hold up somehow.
Jack. And
Jack.
Ace Jack.
Two pair.
Jack,
Ace
3
Jack.
tens over there, 3 tens.
Check. Nice hand. Diamond. Diamond.
Tell me what I can do with it.
Alright, do you want a big one? Do you need a SIM card, Trevor? Trevor, do you need a SIM card for this?
Is that small?
No, Jeff is the small one. You need to work the big one. Alright, guys, come on.
Benny, how come you didn't bet that board?
You guys can't see Terry right now, but
Yeah, if I hit the
without
spade, I
saying a
got
word,
that.
his expression when I sang was, "Where the heck is Simon Cowell?"
I can bet. Because they say you only bet 2,000. What am I betting?
We got 6 players. How
Thing
is
is
this a little bigger
not easy.
card?
Okay, we had 19 players remaining in the tournament when we
No,
got
the
going.
old card was smaller.
So we had a little, right? We had a little bit of a short
Exercise.
table, but we're gonna get us a full table here momentarily
Two players, and they pull from here.
because we're down to 18 players, and we're bringing you all the way to the bitter end
Yeah, it's 70%.
or the joyful ending. I mean, depends on what kind of show it is.
You should have broken the table, right? Yeah. Yeah, of course. I hate being right all the time.
Don't worry,
all
Jeff.
the time. It's like 99.1%.
Oh, God. Why do you do
that
to him?
Unofficial tournament director Jeff.
No, look, it comes out really
Giving
easy. Off
instructions
and on.
to
I don't have
staff
to
here about how to consolidate the table.
Okay.
Because as soon as you did it, I'm like,
Yeah, wait a minute.
That's not right.
What? We need exercise. Everybody needs exercise.
oh,
I'm not
exactly
sure
right.
Jeff ever put his cards in the box.
That's the best
What's
part.
in the
Two are gonna have
box?
six 'cause I'm the button.
Well, not the cards.
But the worst part is
And not
I don't
Gwyneth
get the
Paltrow's
card.
head, that's for sure.
Oh, definitely not.
I lose 2 spots because of the way it's set. So now to go from being, I don't
It's like
get
everyone
from
had a
off the
bit of an
button
issue
to
getting their
off
cards
the
in the box. I
button.
mean, it's really not that hard. The cards are,
Right,
have 4 sides. The box has 4
Well,
sides.
it can
you
be
know.
it can be
sure.
tricky. I mean, it looks simple. I know.
That's what I'm saying.
You'd be
So
amazed at how often this trips people
I
up.
go from being having the position to being middle position.
What's up, chat? How we doing? Give us a little shout out. Let us know who you're rooting for. Let us know how you're doing.
The
You
devil.
guys playing any tournaments lately?
And he goes 18. So we got to break
We have our multi-flight coming up, I believe, right?
No,
Are we doing a multi-flight this month?
a couple weeks, I believe so.
Are we waiting?
Well, it's already the end of. Well, actually,
Right.
So-
Well, I guess
we
it doesn't
got a
really
bit to
doesn't
go.
matter now.
It's
Well, it's
Thanksgiving
Thanksgiving,
week
right.
next week.
Are we doing it the week after?
That we don't.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
That's what we were just talking about.
They're coming
It takes me
with
I haven't
blind.
spoken to
Having-
Josh about it. Lethal
two
weapon
hands
style,
spent
Mr.
to
Joshua.
the button to having the
Very polite, very
Fifth.
nice, but everybody's scared of him.
because now the button's gonna go there and there's
I
gonna
don't know
be
about
2
that.
players that take
I
it.
love that guy. I'd cuddle with him.
Gary Busey.
No,
Or
Josh.
Josh.
Porn. That's all I'm saying.
Gary Busey, not so much.
The teeth alone is a deal breaker.
Intermission.
So distracted and everything all the
Kev,
time.
we getting players?
No, they're breaking too. Wouldn't that
But I was dealing to a player who's kind of misbehaving.
Yeah.
And Josh was kind of coming up behind him a little bit, just walking by.
few weeks
So I gave him that line from Lethal Weapon. I said, sir, you're going to have to please wait until your turn's tagged. What if I don't? I'm like,
You can
and
gather
then
that
all serious, I
information
said, then
from
you'll
the
have to talk to
cards.
Mr.
Yeah,
Joshua.
yeah.
3 weeks behind.
I'm a few weeks.
And he turned around and Josh is standing right there. Lethal Weapon reference.
You want to know anything? Ask the player.
It's a pretty good flop for Brian. Benny does have a little flush draw.
Just a little one.
Not the most
most excited about it.
Mikey, have a seat.
Jeff has
55-5.
well, he has 4 cards.
Whoa.
There's a lot of backdoor.
Right.
55.
Oh, thank you.
Wow.
This just in.
You're the best, man.
You better go
all
put that
ways.
number
Our
in the
associate
lottery.
Trevor is just handing me
I
off
think he actually might be him. I don't know.
the payout information. So we're, as I said before, with 31 players, we're paying out 4 spots. A 3K guaranteed tournament, 35.65 in the prize pool. And 4th place is going to take home $356 today. 3rd, $535. Second, $1,069. And the winner, $1,605.
I like rubbed on it right here.
Bear
just
betting
to
obviously
put
has
more
the
of that
flush here.
perfume on it.
This is going to check the Brian
It's
will
definitely not you.
on the river, the board pair. He
Definitely
might have
not
been
you.
able to get betting on the
It's
flush.
slightly
He's
different.
definitely got a little bit of pop in there.
I don't know. I mean,
Okay, if Benny's got the
what I know of
second
Benny,
nut
that
flush.
he could be bet out, but it would take a heck of a bet. Big bet.
No, I mean, it was only a 12K pot size, but that was
Right.
probably
Pot
about
bet,
a third of
probably.
Brian,
Yeah.
a third of Brian's stacks. It would have been interesting. I've seen Benny fold monsters. I've seen him in this game in PLO, in this PLO tournament. I have seen him fold second nuts sets. I've seen him fold second nut flushes. I've seen this guy. That's what Omaha does to you, right? I mean, like, there's so many options. You have 6 possible hands. You know what I'm saying, right? You have 6 possible combinations. And so a lot of players, especially those who haven't been playing for too long, they get a little timid.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd say.
Well, I wouldn't say just way less aggressive than you might see in a hold'em
Sure,
game.
sure. But I mean,
Because in a hold'em game, I can see Benny betting big, like, oh, well, if you got the boat,
and Hold'em.
in the
he's
boat,
never
congratulations.
folding on that
Yeah,
seven,
he'll call anything.
But it's so much more possible
flush,
for
yeah.
someone to come through with a boat on the river when
Because there was
pairs.
only one flush better than his, and there was a pair of 7.
Yep. I mean, 7 was one of the cards on the flop too.
Yeah.
So I mean, he would have had to have had A7, King 7, or
A7,
aces
yep.
or kings, which
Pocket 7s.
yeah.
This on the game. And I said, I couldn't read it.
No one's ever had
Well, they
quads
said
in
they weren't
Omaha.
all the time. You got
Never
kind
has.
of like, mix them up.
Yeah, I told that story earlier. I thought I did
75.
with my 3 7s in my whole cards and a 7 on the board. But it was a lot.
Right.
Brian's crazy with 7, 8, queen, double suited. I like the aggression, but the hand is mediocre at best here.
It changed nothing. I got you.
Nobody's got an okay hand. I mean, ace, king, queen with ace high hearts. Yeah, I can't see him folding this. We gotta see a flop with that hand. Kind of like the aggression actually. Now that I'm thinking about it on Mike's spot, he does have the button. Mike's coming through with an ace high flush draw. That hasn't come out yet.
Right.
Is that a draw yet? Is it a draw yet if the flop hasn't come out?
Oh, Larry. Larry was king with shorts and a t-shirt.
Wow.
I went and got him
What a
one of his
bink.
sweatshirts out of the car. And I let him
Brian just knew it was coming. It's crazy.
What are you guys eating in there?
Oh, you got a down click. No flush draw, pseudo straight draw. All right.
Yeah, Brian's like, yeah, let's just end it right now.
See that, and that's
Greed will kill you.
one of the reasons why you pot it pre-flop. There's just so much calling in tournaments like this, and then once the flop comes,
just
you
wanna
hit your hand. If you don't pot it, when the pot's so small, there's no
Everybody just take a little
post-flop playability. So I appreciate a good pop pre-flop, even if your hand is mediocre, because A, if you don't hit, it's relatively easy to bet them out, and if you do hit, then the pot's already big enough, and you made value at that point. So
You're gonna slice your finger out.
AKA nice. You earned those 3 7s on the flop, buddy. Fatality.
No, because
Six
I didn't smoke
of
anything in the
spades.
truck before coming in. So.
Well, that's what I had, 3 7s in my hand. Watch Mitch do a much smarter move than I did back then.
You're gonna
Fold. Yep, there it is.
Yeah. Oh, you do? Okay. Okay, no worries.
Have fun up there.
Thanks. Because I'm the big blind. Ooh, lucky me. I got the big out.
Good luck.
Jeff with Jays. He'll play. Wow.
5 players.
Now I get to flex my my literary know-how. Nobody. The Cyclops from the Odyssey. with 3 aces in the hole. Doesn't flop much. Benny just hit a set of kings.
5,000.
Some pretty good
Benny runs
hands
good.
here. Jeff with
No one's got a
jacks,
flush draw,
Benny's
too.
with kings.
Benny's got removal to the queen too,
Right.
So I mean, there's really no situation unless someone has some kind of a wrap. What does Mike have? Mike's got 2 pair.
Yeah, he's drawn dead.
And dun 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 dun. Mike's gonna need a bigger boat.
Mike's lucky that 3 was not a 2.
75.
Mike thinks that 3 was a bad card for him, but little does he know he was drawing dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
No.
fact, super dead.
Oh, all right.
Mike now.
He was drawing undead.
No.
His hand was dead. It got up, started shuffling after the final girl, and then got killed again.
The king good for me.
Yes, the king was very good for you.
I have a king looking too.
River was entertaining too. You're just
Oh,
like, all right,
yeah.
I just win.
Well, we
So
will, as
we
long as
got
you have a
Jeff and
53, you
nobody.
Pretty good deduction there, Benny.
See, they're not all movie jokes when I'm doing the commentary. You get some literature too, some culture.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's right.
That's like a very John Madden.
Homer knew what he was doing when he named the characters.
Team with the most points usually wins. Thanks, John. Appreciate you.
That was clever. Odysseus said that his name was nobody. So that after he blinded him, and the other Cyclops were like, "Oh my God, who did this? This is terrible." Oh, nobody did it. It is kind of weird the other Cyclops didn't ask for context. So they didn't ask the follow-up question. I'm like, well, then how did you get blind? They just kind of heard, "No, nobody blinded me." Oh, okay. Have a good day. And they just kind of went away. No, I don't think so, Tim.
Raise 55.
So many players with cards.
That's why I say damn.
That's what I said, damn. You followed up with your
That's
own
it.
damn.
Oh, okay, because I was going to say we didn't lose anybody. I'm like, oh, they took Jeff to balance the table. So apparently all the carnage is happening on the other table. And that's bad for television. We need all the carnage here.
Yeah, a little bit of carnage here, possible player.
All right, Mimi got the club. It's going down. Mike flopping the nut flush.
9,000.
Vegeta, what does the scouter say about his pet? It's 9,000! Chuck wondering what he should do. I wonder what cards he has.
Nobody realizes.
Yeah, nobody. I mean, he flopped a straight, but
He's got 2 pair too, so he's got outs. Any jack or 9 will give him a boat.
Miss Nancy, if this mic is any closer, it would be a health hazard. So my good friend Terry making an adjustment. And because this is a tournament, we got to see all the cards run out. But that hand was done like dinner at the flop.
No, it wasn't. He flopped 2 pair.
I didn't want to tell you.
He flopped 2 pair, then he turned 3 pairs, so any jack.
Oh, well, yeah. It wasn't done like dinner, but
It was done like the appetizer.
it was pretty done though.
Not quite. That's not quite.
Just flop and nut flush.
Yeah.
Oh, not exactly.
No big deal.
Yeah, no, I didn't see that.
Second nut flush.
How's this, Nancy? Is that better?
Yeah. So yeah, let us know, Miss Nancy. My good friend Terry just made a mechanical adjustment.
I'm a good knob turner.
And we were all dead
You
anyway.
crushed him anyway.
Okay, see that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, some
I'm surprised you
pain,
didn't call there.
some carnage. I'm here for the pain, everybody.
He's
See
gonna
the
have a flush.
open.
Yeah.
I only have 1
And
flush.
whether they admit it or not, I think a lot of the viewership is too.
I love it.
I had almost the same hand. Yeah, she did, except I had the queen.
Yeah, queen 10.
Yeah.
So you,
Whenever I'm watching poker, I'm always thinking that because whenever somebody just gets
I didn't have the 8.
brutally
The
knocked
8
out,
came up.
I'm like, dang, that was brutal. But every time I see it, I'm like, you know what? The same doggone thing happened to me this one time. It always takes me back to when
that's why I
because
was like, how does he not call?
it's not like we want to
Got a
see.
little
We
poker
don't.
PTSD.
I don't think anybody watches just to see the players get knocked out, and because you always feel bad, especially if there's some crazy runner happens and the other one is head. It's just that it helps us cope with our own bad beats a lot better, I think. Because yeah, like I'm not the only one. It happens to other people too. You know, I thought I was cursed.
Doesn't help me cope at all, but
No?
I appreciate what you're trying
Right.
to go for.
It makes me feel better. Like
Honestly, I'm a big fan of just watching people outplay other players.
Right.
I like to see value betting. I like to see a lot of out of position raises. I like to see people.
straight for Mitch, by the way.
Misdirection. Big fan of misdirection in this game.
Right.
Not just playing your cards, playing the nuts. I like to see people playing other players.
Right.
Especially in Omaha. I mean, it's really impressive to
I would
watch
say
players
Mitch
know
has
where
this
they're
with
at.
his straight. He's got a 4 and a piece, but I
Six is
can't
no
see the
good.
other cards by Chuck and Mike.
Mike is still checking. He is still checking. He is still
He
checking.
doesn't have cards anymore. He's still checking.
Impressive.
He's like, don't make me put any more money in. Yep, they certainly are, Miss Nancy.
Hey, Kings.
We look so good on TV because those guys do a good job behind the scenes.
Yeah. I mean, I can only make it 35. It's not even feel like we haven't called it.
Last guy tells me to put 17, deuce 7 in the muck. Free.
Yeah. I mean, three-handed, maybe not.
Yes, and that's all Josh.
I mean, he's not that tall.
He's not, well, yeah. In an NBA locker room, he's not that tall.
Yeah, he's like a point guard in the NBA.
Right.
Everybody's yelling at Kevin all day.
Yeah, poor Kevin.
No, not poor Kevin.
I really like Brian's hand here, which is kind of funny because I think this hand was better than the other hand he had, 7, 8, 8 queen double suited, but he's just going to call under the gun, which I like. Of course, then again, I wouldn't mind to see a pot raise either, just to see if anyone's folding, but I guarantee none of those
Right.
other hands are folding.
Yeah, this are some pretty good hands here pre-flop.
Not a terrible flop for Brian. He's got a
Yeah.
gutter ball and top pair.
Everybody's got a great
Flush
hand till the flop
Right.
in Omaha. Ooh.
So Brian just hit a straight?
No.
Yes, yeah, he did. Queen 8. He's got queen
I
8.
keep looking for the king.
And he's got a flush draw, but the flush draw is no good because Mike has the nut flush draw, and he's got outs to a king, which I believe there's only one king left. Mitch has 2 kings. Benny's got 1 king, so Brian's going to go ahead and bet the second nuts, but a little timidly.
Then let's see what the river has. That's a 9.
So this is where I'm talking about if we're going to see anybody outplay anybody. Nobody has a 9. Nobody has a boat. Let's see if anybody tries to take it, especially when, wow, Brian's going to, he's just going to check through. Okay. Yep, I dig it. I mean, what else are you going to do?
Thanks.
Board pairs, you got 2 guys in front of you. Maybe they got a
with
small
that,
boat and they're just
you
trying
kind
to
of got to worry about who was on a draw and who slow
100%.
played you.
Yep.
So
No, from his point of view, I would have liked to see one of the first 2 guys possibly bet it. But once
Right.
it gets to him, I really like that check. There's no reason to bet and then have somebody
yeah,
raise
you're not
you or
in
get
that
called.
spot. Yeah, you're not going to win any more money. You're either going to lose it or you're going to take what's there.
Yep, agreed. No, he's happy with it. With that hand?
Yeah.
With 6-8 queen jack, we're happy with it.
Changes a lot of things.
Wow, there was some carnage on that other table, huh? We saw some of it, but like we're down to 6 already on our featured table. Like I said, we had a few eliminations here, but if we're down to either 12 or 13 overall, they're like much more carnage on the other table.
It's got to be 12. No, yeah, we're down to oh, that was handled.
Yeah, 13 or 12 or 13
No, but it got to be
players.
12
yeah.
because they took one away
Okay.
when we were at 7
Save my
for them to
money.
go 6 up there. So we got to be 6 and 6.
I'm just paranoid because on this show, it's all about having a good show, and I don't want all the pain to happen upstairs. Save some pain for us. Okay, turn cards. 7 of
That's a good card for
hearts.
Brian. Picks up a
Not
flush draw.
Really much help, Brian.
He's actually
with
just
the
a
flush
huge
draw.
favorite here. His queens are good. Mike needs like a 10 or 5. Oh, that's not the one.
No, that's definitely not it. Well, yeah, it is.
Oh yeah, it sure is.
I was gonna say the king. Yeah, Brian.
Yeah.
He smelled what the rock was cooking. Gets out of there quick. Pod wasn't that large, so not a lot of damage done. So I don't know why my mind's on food so much. I mean, I actually had lunch, had a big lunch. I'm normally starving when I come do the afternoon show. Because I'm always running out of the house late, so I skip breakfast, and then I don't eat no lunch. I come right in.
Literally.
Not today, though.
Oh,
I mean, so I'm like, why am I eyeballing that food so much? I just ate.
Four more to go. Gonna be a quick day.
There isn't such a thing as having too much hearts.
Option.
Chuck took a look at 3 hearts and was like, no thanks. So it's Brian and Mike. No, it isn't. It's Brian and Benny. And Benny got the better of that, it looks like. Benny!
Very good.
Benny! No. Benny in the jam!
Hey,
No,
you
yeah,
did
I'm a-
your little jingle. I did my little
Okay,
jingle.
that's
We're
fair.
even.
I said, but I'm a Dolphin fan, so we don't like that song.
I didn't say Vinny. You're a Dolphin fan? I didn't know that about you. That's a joke.
Right.
That's for those of you out there that don't know. That was a joke. Everybody knows. Everybody
L-Dub with all
knows.
my South Florida teams, even when I went up north for college. They called me Miami Met. So I rooted for all the Miami teams. Wouldn't jump on the Packers bandwagon.
Where'd you go to school?
UW Milwaukee.
Okay.
It's just like party schools in Florida, except it gets cold.
It is a little cold up there.
Yeah, 2 years of that I couldn't take it anymore. I transferred, went to FAU.
Okay.
Like, I'm going home. 2 years was enough.
Yeah. I gotta work the next 2 days. That's why. Like if my schedule is always like I usually gotta do it Thursday. I gotta commit or I can't do it. Yeah. So it kind of sucks, but. It's always Saturday. Yeah. Check. Oh well, it'd have to be Saturday.
Wow, Chuck's got a super wrap.
Yeah.
Super ultra mega wrap. It doesn't get any more wrapped
With
than
guac
that.
on the side.
Yeah. Chuck realizes how
Again with the
wrapping.
food, jeez.
He's lucky no flush draws out there. Take it down, easy pot. Guys, we are 12-handed right now. We'll go to final table when we knock out 3 more players. But like Matt was saying, we'd like to see it happen on this table.
Right. I mean, what is this, the Paul Tyson fight? Come on, we want to see some knockouts. Let's go. Quit dancing around. Quit passing chips around.
I mean, that's probably what's going to happen if you get a 58-year-old man in a boxing match. I don't care if he's one of the best of all time. That's what's going to happen.
They'll get. I mean, they usually get. More
I just thought he had a chance, you know?
Everybody did.
Just like on Nintendo, they're like that first 90 seconds with those knockout punches. I said, man, I just want him to clip him one time with one of them. It's going to be done.
I mean, it had to happen in the first round if it was going to happen, but I just knew.
Because I've seen the training videos. Mike looks like he could legit punch a hole in a brick wall.
But he's not.
He's got the strength.
He's not dancing around the punching bag. He's
doesn't
not
have the endurance or
the cardio. I mean,
right.
A 58-year-old man is.
He had like 1.5 knees.
Right. I'm sure he probably smoked a couple of blunts before the fight. You know.
But it's fun.
Chuck gonna put in a third of his stack here with 5, 5, 9, 10. Interesting strategy, Cotton. See if it pays off. Sure does.
Lippity flop.
Look at that.
Oh wow, that's crazy. Wow. That's
Mike's got
nuts.
top pair and a straight draw. Brian also has a king. Wow, both those guys hit a king. Chuck checks it. What a legend.
Oh! He checked it, but then he went, well, he doesn't
Brian,
have a big stack,
realizes that, well, it's only 6K into a $60,000 pot. I mean, he knows he's dead here to run a runner, but he has to call just based on the odds.
Right.
You're getting 10-1 on a call. Yeah, we got a call there. Look at Brian. Poor guy.
He looks so distraught. 3.
That is not one of them.
No, he's done like dinner. The 7 was one of them, but he needed
that on the
2 of them.
Right. Chuck
Came
putting
on
it.
the turn,
Chuck
he'd
putting
have
in a third of his stack with such a gnarly hand, and then just
right, it just
smashing.
Destroys.
That's the carnage we wanted.
Yeah.
Kinda. How the Panthers doing? Are they?
Still in first in the
Okay.
division.
Okay.
Team with the best record in the league. We just had a home and home with them. Those dirty, rotten, stinking Jets.
Does that mean they
We
lost
won.
both games?
No,
Oh,
no. We
1-1?
won at we won at home, and then Tuesday night we lost in Winnipeg.
Okay.
So try to get back on track tonight against Chicago.
Did you? Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're no longer a season ticket holder. Or are you
No.
still okay?
Nope.
Hey man, that's impressive.
I
You know,
hung-
it's
I
hard.
hung it
It's
up.
hard to
I
break the
s-
cipher.
I
You know.
said Game 7 of the Stanley Cup was my last game, both in that seat and in the suit.
Now, do you get to sell those seats, or do you just not renew?
No, I
Okay.
didn't. I didn't renew. They
Okay.
I actually surrendered it in February when renewals were due. So
And when was the cup?
June.
Oh wow. Okay.
Well, no, I mean I paid for all last season, so I get to keep the seat until
No,
the
no, no.
season's over.
No,
but
I understand that, but you were done this season,
Right.
whether they wanted it or not. Huh?
Right.
They just happened to win it.
Yep.
God, what are the chances, huh? That's crazy.
Came to that decision at the All-Star break the previous year.
Well, I mean,
You know, when it
it's-
was down here, so I was all like, next year I said 25 is a good round number.
I'm sure you'll still go to a couple games, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Going Saturday, in fact.
Nice. I'm going to let our production staff know to beat the cards in the box and see if that works.
We cannot see the cards.
You know, a little winter tonight.
Love it.
Yeah. 49 or something like that. Might be amazing.
If you believe the weather people.
I don't know. They've been talking about it for quite some time. We always got a few days, right?
Now, if you got a stack like Mike's, you got 80K, you got a hand like 7-9, King 10. Not really the best hands, not suited.
It's only 71.
You call 1,500 just to see a flop? Just a spike, or you just kind of like,
Sure, why not?
I mean, I think so, right? Not a bad flop. If with his hand, he would have had a king and a straight draw. Nothing else too crazy out there. Pair of kings from the other Mike with a better kicker, but I mean, Badoogie flop, no straight on board.
Fold.
But I guess that's also why you fold, because then you get involved with a hand like that,
Yeah.
and then you start burning chips.
Doesn't have to be big action. Can be death by 1,000 cuts. Like my tournament in Vegas,
When was that?
the dealer event. Not this past year, the year before. But no, I didn't get knocked out. I was chip leader for about an hour at my table, but just man, kept getting rivered. Medium-sized hand, just death by 1,000 cut. It wasn't any one hand. It was just kept getting it in good and not ending up good.
Sounds familiar.
So 4 players, and they have 4 cards.
That's nuts. I mean, come on, guys.
And Brian's betting.
It's crazy. Just so you guys know, for all of you that are watching, we just sent a message to the production crew asking these guys to put their cards in the box because, hello?
They don't want us to know how they play. Which I can understand, but you're also on a live streaming show, so.
I mean, we know how they play. It's Omaha. A lot of checking. Check. Checking. Chuck says no check from Chuck.
Tiek. It's Russian. It means check. Edutainment here on the Pbkc live stream.
We edutain. Mike says, "Oh yeah, I was playing coy." Brian looks interested. No, he doesn't. That is 100% a full house. That's not even trip nines. That is a full house right there.
Okay, there, Patrick Swayze.
Just letting you know. What am I, Ghost?
No, Point Break, man.
Oh.
Because everything was 100% pure for him.
Oh, okay.
100% pure adrenaline or pure whatever.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
I mean the real Point Break, not that remake they did a few years ago. Yeah.
You reference all the Busey movies, huh? It's not a Swayze movie, by the way.
That's true.
That's
yeah,
that's a
Busey
Busey
was
movie.
in that movie.
I mean, he was in like every
he had
other
a small
80s
part,
movie.
right?
Small part? What are you talking about?
He was Keanu Reeves' partner. He was only in a handful of scenes.
He was in like every scene.
It was mostly Patrick or Keanu, the whole movie.
I mean, that's your point of view.
Then he got shot at the end. That was really sad.
Yeah, it happens.
Spoiler alert, but the movie is 30 years old, so if you haven't seen it yet, it's more your fault than mine.
Mitch got a pretty good hand here. Although Chuck does have those clubs covered.
Got a pair of sixes from Mike. What else we got?
Brian. Oh, it's only a 3K raised to wow, only 4,000. That's crazy.
Where you been?
Is 4,000 the pot size bet?
At 15,
No, it can't be, right? 15, it's got to be 55, right?
Right.
I don't like.
That's what the blinds are.
I don't like anything besides pot size raises pre-flop. Sorry.
You're kind of particular, huh?
I am.
I'll take a break. I'll be back.
Everybody's checking through on that flop, huh?
Oh, we down? Oh, shit.
And another 7.
That's a bink for Brian.
Way ahead.
Yeah, no one's got any straight draw or flush draws on board, so he's going to go ahead and take this down, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't think Mitch is going to go fishing for a hook.
Mitch, come on, buddy.
I thought I wanted the pain.
No.
You're like, nah, chase that one outer. Come on. I want blood. Yeah, if somebody pots it pre-flop, I'm going to ask a dumb question now because the last time I did this show, this is how long it's been since I've done this show. There were okay, the ante does not count. All right. Because there was no big blind ante last time I did this show. It was just the small blind and the big blind.
Right, because when we first started doing it, we weren't doing the big blind ante for the PLO tournament. But we've started doing it because it is a tournament and there should be antes.
Because it says pot limit, and technically, well, the ante is part of the pot. So I was like, hey,
if you
wasn't
were
sure.
to ask me, I would think that it should be involved in the pot, but apparently it's not a bet. It's just an ante, so that is
I'm under the gun. I better
behind it.
well, of course it's not a bet. Nobody would think it was.
Right,
But
but that's my
the
point.
game's not called Bet Limit Omaha.
If
It's
not
called
a bet, then
Pot
it's not
Limit
the pot
Omaha.
yet. It's not a bet, then it's not the pot.
Oh, okay.
Right. He's like, nope, this ain't gonna work.
Not falling for that.
Deuce three's gonna win.
Brian's hopping in there with a pretty ugly ace 3 5 7, but got a lot of coverage on the bottom half of the board.
4 players.
It's a pretty good flop for Mitch, I guess. Got top pair, top kicker, no flush draw on board, no really good straight draw out there.
Well, now there is.
That's an interesting card for
Check.
Benny, I guess. It gives Benny a flush draw.
And another 4.
King's just
So,
gonna
yeah,
hold up.
Mitch with top pair, top kicker.
Look, there's no money in the pot. That's my point, though. So he didn't pre-flop raise, which is that's a raisable hand. Ace King 9-7 with a suited ace. That's raisable. You know, make the pot a little bigger. Give yourself some, or else we're just calling check, call check, and then the pot you get 7K at the end. I mean, what are we doing, Matt? What are we doing? Tell me, ask me, answer me. What are we doing?
3. What are we fighting for?
I had 2 hearts too. He had 3 hearts.
Seems to be
2 men. Well, there were only like 3
a
left.
bit cautious
He had 1 too.
at this stage.
Welcome to the Thursday PL.
I mean, I guess blinds are relatively high. It's 1.5K, and if your average stack size is 30K, I mean, you're looking at what, like?
There were no more to come.
That's almost 20%, not 20%. I don't know. The point is, I mean, you have like 15 big blinds at this point, so I kind of get it.
Right.
But at the same time,
Blinds up, next hand.
if this was Hold'em, you'd be raising pre-flop. You're never just calling it Hold'em, so why are we just calling it Omaha, you know?
Right.
players.
See, look, I mean, Benny didn't raise pre-flop, which that's almost, I don't want to say it's raisable, but still, that's a great hand. 8, 9, king, queen. I mean, you got all kinds of, and you're on the button too, and you're checking it. What are we doing? What are
The broadcast partner's getting all emotional about it.
buddy?
I think that's a tell.
Mike says, why would you check the flop and then bet on that turn?
Right, and then pod bet it.
Well, the answer, Mike, is because he should have bet on the flop.
All right, 1, 2, 2.
Another one.
And what did he win? 7,500. I mean, what are we doing? Benny, Benny bet the pot.
Till we go to final?
Chuck says no.
I won't be here, so it won't matter.
Final, I'm done.
My patience is at the end.
Yeah, but you don't have to worry about it.
What do we got going on over here?
1 half hour regardless.
Some sort of
Going in
concoction.
So, what I do is
Drink mixer, except of healthy vitamin drinks.
put it here, and then I put it in
He
the
always
thrower
gives me
like
just enough to be in the hand.
bottom.
Just pour it over. You're one of those idea guys, ain't you?
Just enough to be
Kinda.
in the hand. Not enough to be in the hand. I'll check.
It only works for me, though. I don't think anybody else would go through the process.
Just enough to call. No
I do the same thing, but with adult beverages.
Okay. What are you freezing?
Rum and sweet tea.
Does rum freeze?
No, but tea does.
So you mix it together.
So it's
and then,
kind of, it gets kind of there, but it's a very chill
okay.
drink. You don't have to put ice in it because ice, dilutes everything.
It does.
It gets it freezing cold without actually freezing it over. I mean, I suppose rum could freeze.
I do that with coffee too. I'll freeze.
I mean, at a
coffee
low enough
cubes.
temperature. If you stuck it in the snow and it's like
It's all how
40 below outside, I'm like, I guess it could. Will it freeze over in your freezer? No.
Drink coffee.
No.
That was a little weird for you on that flop.
Yeah, for all you coffee drinkers out there, freeze your coffee, freeze your espresso, put it in a cup the next day, and then add a little milk to it, so your coffee slowly melts into your drink. Ooh, wow, Mike. See, this is why I love Mike. Mike, if Mike's in the hand, he's rarely just calling. He's raising, which 7, 8, 9, 10 for your average player, you're gonna look at that and be like, well, that's not that good of a hand, but actually it's a monster hand.
Fantastic,
right?
yeah.
I mean, if you don't hit, you can still rep the flop. If like an ace or king comes, I mean,
Right.
you can still rep a set of aces, set of kings, ace, king, something like that. And then if you smash the middle of the board, they're not really gonna put you on that. So
Yeah, I forgot the exact math. I used to know it, but about winning percentage across all poker games of both, hands that win and chance of hitting. And a straight has the best mathematical possibility.
sure.
So when you've got 4 in a row in Omaha and 2 of them play, wow, that's
I mean, you're
it's
playing like
almost
80% of the board. You're
impossible
playing like 80% of the board.
to not get it straight.
Right.
With 5 cards on the board. I mean,
Or
obviously
or the very least, it's hard to not get two
right.
pair.
It's
or
going to be
you know.
hard not.
Right.
There'll be sometimes when you don't hit it or somebody hits something better, of course.
For sure.
But,
For sure.
but 7, 8, 9, 10, heck yeah.
And Mike,
I'm in.
and Mike realizes that. Not only does he realize that, but he knows he's got that table image too. So I mean, and look, he's taking advantage of it now. I mean, it helps when you have kings.
Right.
But,
The
you
kings
know.
are a big part of it, I think.
But all these
Got
guys play with
clubs,
Mike
got
enough to know
kings,
that
got an ace.
Mike doesn't mess around. If he's got a hand, he's gonna bet it, and you better have something better than him. I know that sounds pretty self-serving, but
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like
Mike's a very
That's-
solid player.
like the core of the game.
It is.
Who knew?
It is. but this is my point though. Like not a lot of players really carve out a reputation, and Mike does. Like he's just known as an incredibly
It's
solid
like-
player. He makes the final table on Thursday for this tournament. I know he makes a lot of our final tables.
Yeah, he does.
But as far as PLO goes, I want to say he makes 80 to 90%. He's always at a final table at our PLO tournament on Thursday. Always. I can't remember the last time he wasn't when he plays. So I mean, he has to get very unlucky to not make
Yeah.
it.
I mean, everybody gets runnered,
Sure.
but you ain't gonna get runnered every time.
Wow, we got a lot of really good hands here. Brian, just calling. God, what are we doing? Even Benny's got a monster too. See, look now. Look
Mike's,
at the pot,
Mike's got a forehand straight flush.
buddy. Look at Brian's hand. His
it's-
hand is so good, and he didn't raise pre-flop. Now there was only what was there, 10K in the pot? I mean, I don't know, man. And now you're not going to get any value because you have all the kings. You know, nobody else has a king. I mean, you're just hoping somebody has a set of fours.
Depending on how the hand goes, if I'm Mike, I might stick around and see one more card.
I just don't see.
See if he can get anything with that.
I just don't see the strategy of not raising with a hand like that pre-flop. I understand that you want to see a flop. Obviously, kings aren't that good of a hand, but you got 8, 9, king, queen. You got a suit. You got a monster. And then if you hit, you want there to be money in the pot so you can build it. But I just
gotta get value for them good hands, man.
Yeah.
Tell you weather the storm when the cards go dry.
And then you're also letting in 3 other hands too. If you're betting pot, I mean, half those hands are going away, if not all of them. Then you can just take it down right there if they don't feel like continuing. You know, but you're letting in all these hands for free, and the chances of your kings holding up are not that good.
Right.
But then it's even worse when you hit it, and then nobody else has anything, and then you're winning just the blinds. But what do I know? I'm just an announcer. I just announce things. I look at it and then I announce. Sounds like I have a personal vendetta against people that still play their big hands, huh? You know why? Because I do.
Right.
3 players, 5 o'clock. It's pretty quick, yeah.
I guess my point also is like you really got to equate this, try to like compare this game to Hold'em too. If you have a hand that strong in Hold'em, are you ever just gonna smooth call with a hand that big in Hold'em? Never. Against 3 other players?
Well, 3 other players, no.
No. In the small blind? No. You know?
That's it. For me, slow playing is, I love to slow play.
But
it's very situational.
100%.
I was just gonna say,
100%.
like, against 4 players, absolutely not.
Wow, Brian's got a pretty big hand here. He's got a wrap. Mike has, I don't know what. King's gonna, wow, Ace King's gonna hold up. You don't see that too often in
very
Omaha.
rare.
Let's see if someone tries to buy it.
I mean, Brian flopped an open-ender, but...
Oh, Brian flopped the rep.
Right.
Did Mike bet it? Yeah, what a legend. I love this guy. Bet it with ace high.
Fantastic.
Let's go.
Well, he definitely was not playing his cards. He was playing his position.
And he was playing his man, too. His man checked it, both times. Listen, I love watching Mike play. This Mike, not this Mike.
Right.
We're not talking about the Mike on stream. We're talking about you, obviously. Love watching you play, buddy. Yo, hey, Mikey. Betting with ace high in Omaha, taking it down. Let's go. This Mike has a. See, I kind of like hands like this. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to raise. I might just call to see a flop, which I know is kind of the antithesis of what I've been saying this whole time.
Right.
But I mean, this is just a pretty average hand, but it can obviously smash pretty hard. So I like seeing flops with hands like this, especially when you only got 50K. But there's also merit to just folding it outright and not getting involved. So you're also letting all these other mediocre hands in. So let's see what the poker gods deliver.
Honestly, about what I expected.
Only blockers. Benny's got blockers. That's about it.
First person to bet wins.
Yeah, Chuck picks up a flush draw on the turn, I think.
Running 4-3. So I was going to say, I said, unless my eyes deceive me, Benny's going to win that
Tens are good.
Show me.
Tens.
Oh.
Benny seems surprised he won.
I mean, I am also surprised. I'm looking at the hands and I'm still surprised.
Benny looked around at all the cards. He's like,
It's all
oh. Like, wow, I thought I was just turning over a loser, but I guess I won.
Now, see, just with how that hand played out, Benny, for those of you that
First
aren't,
player to bet wins.
it's not even so much that, but I'm looking at his hand. He has 2 tens, so he has blockers to the nuts. Everybody checks the first round, so you know that they don't have anything too good. It checks around to him again. I am betting 100% of the time on that turn when the flush doesn't come, straight doesn't come, nothing comes through. You have the blockers to the straight, bet it. Worst comes to worst, you get called, and then maybe you can shut it down. But take it down right there, because how often are tens good when there's 3 overs on board?
Omaha?
I mean,
in any game, not good.
but there's obviously also merit to just holding onto your chips and hoping nobody bets, and then taking it down with tens. I mean that is also an option. Benny just calling again with a relatively good hand, I think. Mike just calling. God, look at these hands, man. Like ace, king, 4 deuce, suited ace. You got top and bottom. And we smash. Mitch got clubs and a queen, it looks like. Everybody checks to Mike. Mike's going to bet it. I like this bet. I think Mitch might be calling. He does have the second. No,
Looks like
there's
10,
no
10's
way.
won, 10's won last time.
Mitch, there's no way you're folding this, buddy. Flop the pair and a second nut flush draw. There's no way. See, that's the power that Mike has. That's the power Mike has.
What? That's a surprise.
I mean, they're putting Mike on minimum top, or top 2. I mean, I get Mitch was in the big blind, so it's not like he called with that hand hoping to hit something like he had to play that hand, but still, you flop a pair in the second nut flush draw. I feel like we're calling 5K, right, just to see a turn. I mean, it's 20% of your stack, but
here's our VPIP, and I kind of thought Mike would be on top, but no, he's in third.
No, I would
just barely. It's like a razor thin edge, but Benny
so
way up.
I think this is actually the 46%. I think that's New York Yankees Mike, and I'm pretty sure that is this Mike, because Mike hasn't been playing a lot of hands, but that's his MO. he doesn't play a lot of hands.
I don't want to try to catch
Benny plays all of the hands.
Right. Here's Benny with 10s.
Benny is so aggro tight. Like I don't. Is that a thing? Is that a term?
Aggro tight. I've never heard it. But
that's Benny. Like he'll play a lot of hands, but he'll also like fold the hands when he hits too. Sometimes he just believes people. He just believes them. I don't know. Chuck with a mediocre hand. He's deciding to pick this one to take a stand. He's putting in a third of his stack here with ace 6 4 4. Ooh, Mike's calling with a juicy 3 5 6 7. I dig it. Benny says, "Give me a 10 one time."
Well, 10s worked for him last time.
10s are still in the lead, I guess.
Yeah.
But Mike's got a pretty. Actually, no. Mike has 2 pair and a straight draw, and he checks it. It's crazy. It's crazy. And then Chuck hits the bink. Chuck binks the turn because Mike didn't bet.
6.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't. Dude, Mike has the world, too. He flopped 2 pairs, straight draw, and both backdoor flush draws, and we're just checking it. Chuck says, "Oh, I raised with my mediocre hand and smashed the uber nuts with the nut redraw?" Okay.
He's playing
with the ace-high
Nintendo
flush
now with his 64.
So Mike has, obviously, 3 pairs, so he has, what, 6 outs to a boat? Is that right? 7 outs?
Well, normally you would be right, but
right,
all of his outs are
folded.
dead. Yeah.
Right. Theoretical outs, I believe, is what they called them. Oh, and then just no big deal. We hit the nut flush on the river. It did pair the board, but it just happened to be the one card that Mike didn't have.
We call that overkill.
Yeah.
You already had him dead, man. You didn't have to break
Yeah,
out
but
the howitzer.
But if it's not the flush, then maybe it's one of his other outs. So we'll take this. Mike's realizing maybe I should have bet my hand on the flop when I had a monster. Come on, Brian. Pitch the cards a little better, buddy. Show us that 20-plus years of experience. We're tired of seeing you just skate by.
Dude, he's only like 26.
Buddy, I worked with him back in 2004. He looks the exact same. Literally.
Was he a vampire?
A vampire, some type of an apparition. He could be...
The Highlander?
The last one, what is it? There can be only one. I was thinking the Sean Connery movie with the dragon, Dragonheart. I am the last one.
Oh, okay.
Chat, you're a little quiet. I know that Matt and I are not, but feel free to, send us your opinions on PLO. Dude, Brian's
also, like, follow, and subscribe if you haven't already. Wow, Mike flopping the trippy trips.
And look, for once they raised pre-flop. I love it. And then, you're rewarded. You're rewarded for it.
We're going to get some hurt feelings on this one, I think.
Wow, Mike is just not even messing around. Mike says, pot. Oh, you're going to show them, Mike? Mike, they know. And if they don't know?
Your ass better call somebody.
There was that option. There's also the, if you don't know, now you know. Ninja.
Bad bet, right?
Yeah, right. 20K.
For me, I just say, yeah.
It's funny that Mike gets all the respect in the world, and then right there he hits it and then shows him, and then he reinforces the idea of why you need to fold to my bets, you know.
So that next time if he bluffs, they'll believe him.
I mean, they already do. Like, he already has that that respect, but
I've always heard that was the argument for showing. I
it
mean,
is.
I
It's,
personally
I know you
don't believe in it, but
and you know
everybody's game's different, and that's cool. But if they already if they already believe you when you bluff, you really don't need to do that. It's gratuitous at that point.
Every once in a while, I kind of see the merit behind it, just to kind of reinforce the idea that, hey, I am the guy that have it, just in case you think I bluff. Wow, what a flop for Mike.
Wow, fantastic.
Brian's got a pretty good hand, too, though. He's got a pair and a flush draw and a straight draw.
3,000.
Benny's going to ruin it.
It's like Benny. I'm looking at Benny's hand. I'm like,
it's by far the
Mike
worst.
And Brian show. And
By far
Benny
the
is
worst.
Like, I want to play too.
Can Brian get away from this? He does.
Yeah. Well, it went from 3 to 17. It's easy.
I know.
It's
especially
easy
when
to get
Mike's
away
the one
then.
doing it.
If he called 3, and then it's very hard to get away.
Benny. And
Benny's
see, look.
like,
And see, look. Mike doesn't fold it. He flops top set on the previous board, shows it. Flops top set on this board and doesn't show
you
it.
get nothing this time.
Exactly, and I love that. I love that. It's the same exact thing. You flop top set, top set.
Keep him guessing.
I don't need to
Change
show you this time.
gears.
Right. Of course, then again, in this case, with Benny betting and him, you know, repopping it.
Yeah, that 17K, it was almost like a how dare you.
Uh-huh, yeah. Now, here, let me ask you a question.
Clear and present danger style. How dare you, sir?
Harrison's the man. So, question, do you think that if Brian had the nut flush draw and a straight draw, do you think he comes along?
No.
No?
From 3 to 17?
Because he had the second nut draw with a pair and a straight draw flush draw. But if it's the nut flush draw with a straight draw and a pair, do you think he comes?
No. I think we saw what we were going to see as far as the flush draw goes. And when the betting goes from 3 to 17, how quickly he folded. I'm like, yeah, I don't think the nut flush he calls.
And here's Mike just calling with aces. Short stacked, 27K. Just calling with aces and a suited ace. Let's just let the whole world in.
Just for funsies.
There's nothing fun about that. Oh, wow. I'm just going to let this guy in with pocket nines. I'm going to let this other guy in with a straight draw. Brian's got the redraw just in case somebody has a
10,000
set of tens. Wow, Mike's gonna use his image here. He's got open-ended. Actually, he's got a wrap.
Yeah.
Now that I'm looking at it, he's got a wrap. Brian's got a set.
No, yeah,
Brian's
set,
just
there's
calling.
0 chance I'm folding, but
I mean, I guess Mike betting out in
I mean,
first position. This could be a straight, but I mean, if you're just calling 10, just put the rest in. What I mean, there's no.
Yeah, he's got 26 behind. Yeah, I'm a little puzzled by that.
Oh, there it is.
So Brian needs to.
Dude, Mike is running.
card
Mike is
here.
running hot.
All in for
26. So Brian gets a look at the bad news.
Brian's gonna need a little bit help.
7
He's gonna need any 6, 8, 9, 10.
Needs the board to pair pretty much, and that ain't it.
That's a negative, Ghost Rider. Brian's going to be out of here in 11th place, maybe 10th. I don't know how we're looking up there, but the rich get richer, and Mike is, what do they call that, running on the sun?
5 and 5.
10 remaining.
And that's 15 minutes from now.
Sounds pretty loud over there.
My broadcast partner is going to go investigate. While in the meantime,
I don't know if they need to know, but I got 5. 5 and 5.
around to Benny.
Raise to 6.
No, I'm gonna have to put him down then.
All right, we can't see Chuck's cards, but he raises to 6K. Benny's going to play along. Mike will not.
Because that's ridiculous. That's embarrassing.
So Benny gets a jack on the flop. No idea what Chuck has. But Chuck's going to bet 5K on it.
Lines up, next hand, 15-3-3. Wow. Putting it on the card reader for sure.
I believed in your bless you.
And Benny decides not to play.
Me too, I have a jet. Got to pay too.
Hey, careful you joke about that. He'll believe him.
I need to hit my friend.
All right, a look at our chip count. Mike, a lot. Everybody else, not as much, even put together.
I've actually done the numbers, and Matt is correct. A lot to a little.
You can criticize a lot about me, but my math, never. The math is solid.
Mike's decided to take a break until final table.
Well, you know, you want to give everybody else a chance. You know.
Why? That's exactly what you don't want to do.
4 players?
I don't want to give anybody a chance. I want to steamroll. Mike wanted an 8, just not 2 of them. Not really sure what Chuck has, but hey, Benny, I like it. But oh, Benny's got an 8. Just
He's
kidding.
got right.
I thought he was putting in a bluff, but no, he's putting in the best hand bet.
They won, they are now.
What's that?
Do 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 do.
They all know.
Probably. I put it on the read. I don't know if I should.
Reminds me.
First card out, you don't get to play this hand.
No. Okay.
Fine.
Got a beat on early access for Epic Universe because I got passes to Universal. So they're supposed to email me. That's why. So when you did that, I'm like, oh, that reminds me. I haven't checked that.
When's that opening?
In May.
Oh, that's so cool.
So before it opens, you know, the pass holders are going to get. They're not going to advertise it. They're not going to do nothing. They're just going to let us know the date.
That is so
that
cool.
the park will be open just to test everything out.
I can't imagine that's gonna suck. It's got to be
Well, it
awesome.
might.
Well, I mean, the early access might suck just because it's like, you know, early onset
They're
Jurassic
basically
Park. Like,
beta testing.
Sure.
The park, and
For sure.
When they did those soft opens for Islands of Adventure, it was pretty bad.
And when they did the soft
Hardly
open for
anything
Jurassic
was-
Park, it was also bad.
well,
like, you know.
That part was actually good. That was just in the movie where it messed up. The real life Jurassic Park ride worked though.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear about the real one.
Right.
The dinosaurs didn't eat the tourists in the
No,
real
they
one?
didn't.
Okay.
Not all of them moved. They were supposed to, but the actual ride part worked, so they let people ride it.
We'll take that. Mike hitting a pretty good flush on the
Floosh,
river.
runner, floosh.
Listen, when you're running good. Oh, different Mike. Just kidding.
Yeah, different mic. 11K mic, not 170K mic. But he'll have a little more than that after this is over.
The keyword being a little more, because he didn't bet it on the river, even though I don't think it would have got him anywhere.
No, he wouldn't have got a call.
Still, on a board like that, when it's double paired, it's obviously much less likely that a person has a boat, especially Benny, who I feel like would have bet the turn if he had any kind of anything. But I guess 10 high flush, it's not a great flush, but still, don't you want to get some value in there? But put in a little 20% bet, little, I don't know. Maybe I just get a little more feisty when I can see the cards, and I realize that I feel like he's losing out on value, but at the same time, like if I was in that position, I'd probably check it too.
Right.
You know. Chuck with a pretty good hand. Mitch, we're doing it, Mitch.
Raise to 7.
We're doing it, Mitch. Put it in. You got to see 5 cards, Mitch. Do it, Mitch. Do it. Mitch, do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Mitch,
Come
do it.
on, do it.
Do it.
now.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Mitch, do it. You're not going to see anything better. Do it.
I don't think he's going to do it.
I don't think so either. Mitch.
You know, Mitch is 15 minutes in the future. You can't actually hear us.
Mitch, do it. Boo. 2.
Benny will do it. Benny
Of
doesn't
course
even
he
have
will.
anything.
No, Benny's hand's
He
terrible.
doesn't even have anything.
It's almost worse.
A raggedy straight. That's about all he can hit with
Wow.
that. Maybe a flush, but
Mitch would have only flopped top 2 in a flush in a straight draw. No big deal. Chuck's got a straight draw, backdoor flush draw. Mike's got a pretty good hand too. Straight draw, pair, backdoor flush draw, 2 backdoor flush draws.
come on, Benny, you got a 4 bet it.
There comes one of Mike's flush card draws or flush cards, but Chuck has aces.
Here
Yeah,
he
Chuck's
comes
just.
to shove the turn.
So let me see. Yeah.
Not
I still
flush
would like
draw.
Mitch's. I still would like Mitch's hand,
Kinda
and
gut shot straight draw.
I feel like if Mitch had played the hand, if he goes on for 14K on the flop, yeah, I feel like everybody folds. Benny, what are we doing, buddy?
Benny is looking at this board
Benny.
intently.
Benny, you just have a gutter
Absolutely
ball.
nothing.
Pair to gutter
Right,
ball, buddy.
exactly.
Mike's going to call with
we'll
his straight draw,
see.
flush draw. Straight draw, flush draw combo. He's going to need any 10 or diamond or 2. That is not one of them. I think Benny would have won. If he called, he would have had 3s and 4s. Look at Benny.
Chuck's gonna get
Look
that
at Benny.
with
Benny's like, I
ace.
made such a bad fold. Look at Benny's so disappointed in himself. Look at him. Look at him. He's so sad. I'm not laughing at his misery. I'm just laughing at like.
Kinda are,
No,
little
I'm
bit.
not. It's
Little-
just
little bit,
he's
little
so upset that he folded his gutter ball with a pair of 4s, which actually at this point is it's not a terrible hand because if nobody has 2 pair, you're drawing to also a lot of 2 pair draws. But I mean, look, what do you got, Benny? You got like less than 30K. You're gonna call a 30-year stack. Look at him. He's trying to explain to Mike. Mike's like, listen, you can't talk to me about it, buddy. I only play the nuts, okay? So I think it's a good fold.
I mean, unless he's bluffing.
Right. No, but I'm saying table image wise. Table image wise. I only play the nuts, buddy. So.
You only have 1 pair. Wait.
I know. I wasn't real proud of what I had. Trust me.
I like Chuck.
I know.
Chuck's good for the game.
What am I gonna do with these little chips against these monsters?
I'd like to thank our production crew for telling all the players to put their cards in the box because it looks like they're actually doing it. Somebody was listening. Benny's got another connected hand. Mike says, let's see a flop. Look, Benny's the pre-flop favorite here.
Mike versus Mike. Fight.
Benny's got a flush draw and backdoor straight draw. Mike's got... God, Mike, what are we doing checking that hand? Oh, Mike's all in. Just kidding. That's a good reason. That's actually a really good reason.
When you want him to bet theoretical chips?
Benny says, I got the nut low flush.
They're like, I got like half a Bitcoin. Can I bet that?
Oh, 2 on the river.
Deuce.
Gives that to Mike. Crazy talk. Mike was literally getting out of his chair.
A little longer.
Mike was literally out of his chair. I mean, his ass was out of the chair. He thought he was on.
I think you're gonna take all the C9 chips.
It's not here anymore. Shut up. I know that.
I know. Yeah.
And it's always the ball team.
Wow. All right, we need a new.
Oh, what's the guy doing? Pouring it right behind him.
You need new help over there.
There's no way
Whatever
they're
you
just
call
coming
you,
out
the
like that.
production guys.
There's no way.
Production.
Buddy, how would they just come out like that
coordinator?
with nothing else? I'm looking.
Dion? I wouldn't say
I don't believe it though.
3 7s for Mitch. Bye, Mitch.
That's crazy.
And it was so much fun
CGI.
last time. Mike's going to do it again. He's going to go all in. Pretty good hand. Benny with the 10s.
Everything's such a pain decision for Benny.
Well, I mean, you got Mike over there short stacked. You want to try to get on elimination if you can, but he's got to wonder with tens. He's like, yeah, am I just feeding him chips, keeping him alive?
I mean, probably, but you know. Benny's got a straight draw. Chuck's got a flush draw. And there it is.
There it is.
That's all she wrote. Mike's dead. Benny's almost dead. And Chuck's going to take it down in a second, that flush.
Not going to stop him from betting it, just in case.
I do a nice thing for you.
He said, I do nice things for you, Benny. You didn't do a nice thing. He did a nice thing for you by checking the turn.
Stupid. I don't fucking care. I fold. Yeah.
Yeah, I did a nice thing for you by checking my worst hand.
So,
I believe
we got to balance first.
I know it says 11 up there, but I want to say that that we lost a player upstairs too. I think we're just a little slow on the draw.
Always after I pay my bond.
I could be wrong though. I've been wrong before.
Me too.
A long time ago.
No, it's a river card.
Yeah, but you want a pot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he turned card for first. That's why. That's what all the guy right there. All win. I don't know why. Win the pot.
What? Just now?
The one the one chopped down. I know. No.
No, you are right.
I don't know. I think.
So we're going to draw for the button. We're actually at 9. So just hang out for us a little bit, guys.
That fan's blowing into your mic a little bit.
Yeah, I know.
I got 9. Do I stay here?
I got to turn my head.
Okay.
When I look straight ahead, because it's blowing that way. All right, while we have a moment, we can tell you about our fabulous new show we have here, coming into you live from Pbkc every Wednesday at 10 a.m. It's Pbkc Picks Podcast. We got picks for college, pro, fantasy, all kinds of football picks. Very informational. Definitely check it out. Wednesdays at 10 a.m.
Yeah, I go from blind to blind.
For everybody that follows me, they're like, hockey content is coming, guys, but you got to give me a while. Football is king this time of year. Check back after the holidays. I'm already working with the higher ups to get some hockey and get some basketball on the pick show. But definitely not going to be for a while. Because football reigns.
He scared me.
Speaking of football, right here at the Paddock Restaurant on Sundays, we have the Feasted Football, all you can eat at the Paddock. It's every Sunday starting at 11:30. $25 buffet with one draft beer. So buffet gets you all you can eat, as well as one draft beer in the Paddock Restaurant with 140 HD TVs and 3 giant screens. You can watch, wager, and win right here at Pbkc for just $25. Hey, if I didn't have to work Sundays, I'd probably be there with you.
Then he can't take the trophy home. Nope.
15-5 for 2.
I do have to work Sundays. I'm here every Sunday.
Yep, same here. So
I always think about the Paddock too, like just kind of walking in there, taking off my work shirt, and just watching football, drinking beer, and eating all the food. What is it? It's endless food, right?
Yeah.
All you can eat?
all you can eat.
I can eat a lot.
He teaches me how to play this game sometime.
All right, looks like our players are here.
Looks
They
like
kind of moved around, though, because you got to redraw for seats. Except for Benny. Is Benny in the same seat?
nah, he moved a little bit.
Oh, he slid
just
one over.
Yeah. Brett's actually come back. I feel like Brett is always in the 3 seat. Oh, Jeff's still in. Let's go.
They took Jeff off the table to rebalance.
Second time today, and it was quite fun.
But he's back, ladies and gentlemen.
Looks like Mark's been running good. We got one short stack in the 8 seat. He's got about 4K in front of him.
And coming into the big line.
Rough.
Tough
That's
spot.
rough. That's
Yeah.
rough.
Like when you're short stack, but you made the final table and you're happy. Yes, final table. And then you draw the big
And then
blind.
you're the big
like,
blind,
oh,
and
dang
they only
nabbit.
pay out 4 spots.
Right.
That's a rough one. I'm a big fan of Mark's hat collection. He's always got something different.
Looks like he's got the, what's that, the Crocodile Dundee hat?
Crocodile Dundee, possible Western, like a...
That's not a noise.
That's a knife.
That's a knife.
Yo, more bad news. Yeah, take those headphones off. Sorry.
That was my father's favorite part of that movie.
No phones
Yes,
on
Because
everybody's
he had,
favorite part.
well, he had a big movie.
Oh, did he? Okay.
So
then he could always break it out.
He got to act it out.
Nice.
So
Nice.
run into a little trouble on the street. Wouldn't even have to say anything to him. He would just bust out the line anyway. That's a knife. I'd be like, Dad, he did not set you up for that joke. He didn't have a weapon. I don't care. Looking at him a little squirrely, thinking he might try to rob him or something. Just, that's a knife.
Dad, he was just asking for directions. Mike is the overwhelming chip leader with 162,000. Mark's in second with a little over 100. I think it was like 120, give or take. Mark likes to see flops. I would guarantee that he will be at the top of the VPIP charts. Jeff also likes to see a lot of hands, but it helps when his stack's a little bigger. But Jeff runs it up pretty quickly, or gives it away pretty quickly, depending on how his luck's running. But glad to see him at the final table.
All right, and here's the flop.
That's a pretty good flop for Mark.
Two pair for Jason.
Mark's got. Oh yeah, Jason does have a better two pair. Oh wow, and does Jason have a? No straight draw.
I'm in the refrigerator section at Costco.
Wow, Jason has all the pairs, huh?
Yep.
Is that what you said? You say three pair?
No, well, I said two pair.
Yeah, I mean you're right. He does have two. He does have
three
two pair, but he has flopped all the pairs.
Maybe it's the milk case. It's pretty bad. I just went in the ladies' room and it's very warm in there. Oh yes, nice and warm. I open the door again. I'm like, oh yes, produce. I'm going into the locker.
All in.
No better now.
All in.
Yeah, all in for less. He just has 2K left, so naturally he's going to play.
Yes, I'm actually going.
Decent starting hand for Jeff. Just didn't flop anything.
Mark's definitely gonna call here, and he's gonna need a queen or running diamantes, or some running straight cards to chop.
He's only got one out for now. If he can turn something, he'll have a few more outs.
Jack.
He gets one more out.
He does.
But that's
that
not
ain't
it. So Jason, we just said it was a tough assignment to draw the big line, but
he may have just like quadrupled up if
right.
you include all
He
the
got a big
pre-flop
jump.
action.
because he only had 2K left after the flop, so pretty close to a quadruple up.
See what he's got. Oh, he's got 22K. He started the hand with 4K. No, it's quadruple. He started the hand with 4K.
That was the extra.
Yeah. Right?
I thought he had 7.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah. Because he was the big blind and the ante. That's 6K.
I thought I saw
So,
4,000,
right.
but I believe
Right.
you.
He had 2,000 behind.
Okay.
So yeah, triple ups.
That's
Still,
pretty good.
Nothing to sneeze at.
You have to play your big blind no matter what the hand
Right.
is, and you just smash top 2, top 3.
Top 2 and top 3. Yeah. Not bad. That definitely don't happen when I'm big blind in short stack.
I know, right?
It's like 7-4, and you're like, why does God hate me?
Don't ask me. Don't ask me. Hey, don't, man. Let's go, baby. Y'all see?
But 1.5, 3K, 3K. I mean, that's 75 hunch in orbit. Definitely not chump change. So Mike and Mark are in great position. But sometimes you get to a final table and you just go card dead. So it would help to have chips to survive these at the rate these blinds are going up.
For sure.
I didn't look at it either.
So blinds are 1.5 and 3,000. Mitch has like 7 bigs, I guess. 5 bigs. I think this is the one, Mitch.
It's gonna have to be. He's only got 2 orbits. So
Just pot it, buddy. Just get it all in. You need 5 cards.
one thing about that, I'm never calling, ever.
Never.
In that position.
Never.
Because at that point, it's all in or it's fold.
Right. Exactly.
You do, because it doesn't pick them up.
16-5.
Jeff loves hands like this.
Yeah, it's like if it's a bunch
Not sure I would do it. It's not even the bubble yet. I mean, we still got a long way to go, but I mean.
Well, I don't know. Trevor's not too busy right now.
See, with Jeff's hand, I'm probably just calling. I mean, I like the fact that he's raising, but I mean.
Stream online, Trevor. Let me see. Oh, let me make sure my makeup right.
Mitch, there you go.
Okay.
Well, at least.
He did get it all in.
Right,
so
but still, I mean, just if you're gonna call the all in,
right.
just put it in. Make the first bet. You know. Wow, look at those percentages.
I think it's pretty even.
This means it does not matter until the flop comes out. That's what that means.
Quoting the wisdom of the rock right there.
It doesn't matter. They don't let you watch it? Oh, because it's that's right.
All right, so here's the flop.
Look at Jeff.
A 10 for Mitch.
Jeff flopping a pair, flush draw, and straight draw. Mitch has
so
two
he's
pair.
like, yeah, let's play for all of it.
Mitch got two pair, tens and deuces.
So Jeff's gonna pick up a tiny side pot of 2K. And that's not as many outs as Jeff might think he has.
I mean, it's 50-50. I think he has all the outs he thinks he has.
Right.
Straight draw, flush draw.
No, but I mean, with all the outs that, according to the graphics, half of those outs are dead. No,
that
that's
helps
not one.
nobody. There it is.
There it is, Jeff.
Jeff's going to take out Mitch. I guess that's why Jeff raises it pre-flop so big, because he knows he needs 5 cards to get there. That's what Jeff does. I mean, he makes his chips have babies. His chips are very fertile. Because they...
Almost batting again, you're buying.
You can stop now.
Okay.
The analogy was...
It was enough?
I mean, that's...
It was enough?
I was silent, not because I was riveted.
What you spend on the buy?
It's just I was
I find you're not riveted too often, though.
I was
find
stunned by the statement, and I just didn't have anything to say.
I can't actually
and
imagine...
You might have taken that as I should go on.
So just so you know, I'll actually go on regardless of if I think you are riveted.
Okay.
But I would actually like to see you riveted. And no, I take that back. I don't want to see that. I don't think anybody wants to see that.
I'm really close.
I've seen you in a cape in spandex. I think that's enough. That's enough riveted.
Hey, I get all kinds of messages, you know, DMs and emails all the time asking where I'm at and if I'm coming back. So apparently people miss it.
I can't imagine.
I mean, I don't miss putting all that stuff on and having to get to the game an hour early and doing it up. That's one thing I don't miss.
You don't miss it at all?
The suit? No, I mean the actual going to the game and the experience. Yes, I do, but just all the work that goes into it. No, I don't miss the work, even a tiny bit.
Listen, it's not work if you love it.
Not a prep time involved. They wouldn't give me my own private dressing room at the arena, so.
Weird. Jeff with a monster. A monster. And Mark has gone and out-flopped him. Jeff is still never folding.
No.
Mark's obviously going to go all in here because Mark's never folding.
Not even Miss
on this
Corey's
board.
Massaging hands of iron grip will get him to fold.
Mark
I mean, I wasn't expecting that, but.
Oh, I was. Yeah, on that board texture, absolutely, I expected that. Mark's never folding this though. Mark, you know he doesn't have a set of 9s. You know he doesn't have a set of 7s. You know exactly where. What are we doing?
It's almost like there's an element of unpredictability to this game. Who knew?
What a perfect flop for him. Jeff makes a monster bet pre-flop. You have to know he's on a big pair. A rainbow flop, no straight on board. You flop 2 pair, and we're folding? Jeff doesn't realize how unlucky how lucky he got there that Mark folded. Now, obviously, the board could pair. Jeff could hit an ace, whatever. I mean, obviously, he's not 100% to win the hand, but I mean, if Mark had told Jeff that he folded 2 pair on that flop, Jeff would call him a liar. In his head.
Well,
maybe.
we're not playing liar's dice.
I just don't understand if you're gonna call he called 16K pre-flop. Obviously he wants to hit a 10 with 10 10 9 3, but you're still flopping 2 pair on such a great textured board. I don't know why we're folding there. Oh, Jeffson full Jeff. Oh wow.
Chuck made it 16.
I guess.
Tough.
Uh-oh, Mark's in spiral mode here.
Wow.
We got a straight draw.
Open-ended. Against them kings. It's not quite a coin flip, but almost. Oh, and he's like, if we're going to fight, let's fight. Chuck goes all in.
I love it. Little
And
does Mark know that
the
Chuck has
size
2 of
the
his
pot,
outs.
I mean, it's only 40K more to go.
I mean, I get it, but if he's folding top 2 on the previous hand, I mean, you got to fold jack high on this one. It's 2/3 of your stack. Yeah.
He really doesn't want to fold, but he's going
He
to.
has to fold there.
Right.
You're putting yourself into some spots, buddy.
Mark has lost half of his stack since he got to the table. It's rough.
I don't know what you think he's got there. A set of sevens is really the only thing you can have.
They're still talking about the hand where Jeff pushed. It sounds like Mark
I thought
told.
I heard set of 7 somewhere in there.
Well,
I'm
no.
like-
So what Mike is telling Mark is that the only hand that Jeff would have had him beat would have been a set of 7s. But the way Jeff played the hand, he monster potted pre-flop, so he's probably not potting pre-flop with 7s. 7s and aces maybe, but the chances of that are so low. I mean, you just really kind of have to put Jeff on an overpair, maybe a straight draw or some type of a wrap or whatever. But when you're in Mark's position and you call a hand as average as 10 10 9 3 and the flop is 9 7 3, you call. I just or else what are you calling that big of a raise for pre-flop?
Lots.
See? I told you didn't have it.
That in itself could be the lie.
That could be.
What's today? Today and then why?
But guess what? Guess what? He didn't have 9-3.
He did. See, Jeff says he didn't have 9-3. Jeff just said, guess what? He didn't have 9-3. That's why. What I just tell you, he would tell him that he was a liar. That's basically what he just said.
Right.
You lied to me.
Lies in a poker game?
No.
Well, I will guarantee that half of my statements are true.
The aces are
Jeff says, I guarantee that half his statements are true. Mark's realizing that 9-3 was obviously the best hand on that flop, and he's trying to figure out why he folded it. As are we all. Brett with his mystery hand is going to pot it, and he's going to get this through, but we would prefer that his cards actually get in the box, so I will tell someone to yell at him.
What the fuck, Trevor? My goddamn leftovers. Way to go, Trevor.
I wish I could have
Those are my leftovers right there,
Are there
buddy.
cameras in here?
But he was willing to share earlier when I was down here, so that's why. Well, I mean, what the hell did you get called on, kid? Because of that ball. Oh, you fell back.
Yeah, it's because of that ball coming. That's why they told me never to do that. Can you guys please play that on the stream?
Mike, I wish we would have seen it.
Yeah, we
Don't worry, I'm going to go to security and see if we can get a recording of
I was
that.
gonna say, we don't have any kind of editing capability.
Yeah.
You know, when we're doing it live. I mean, Josh does all that later when he puts it together for YouTube for the archives. But for right meow,
I
nope.
wish the cameras would have caught that like motion censored of him like flailing off to the side, and we would have caught like the end of it, but we're not that lucky. Who's he?
Spoiler alert.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Listen, that makes sense. Okay, I'm there now. Ooh,
Sorry,
Brett raising with a monster here. Wow, Mark's got a really good hand too. Mark's just in effort mode. I mean, I do love his hand. That's actually a really good hand,
Right.
but I mean, he's just calling off. Yeah, he's calling off 25% of his stack here.
All right.
Wow, what
Flop.
a flop!
What?
Flopping the wrap. Mark's like, did I really just flop that?
Kinda, yeah. I only say kinda because no, not really. I mean, he did flop the better draw, absolutely.
So it said it was 60-40
But I mean,
with
that
Brett.
doesn't mean you can't bet it like it's the best hand. And,
Oh, I'm
well,
betting
hey.
that every time.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're never just checking that ever.
Yeah.
And if he's got the overpair, good for you. But
All right, here's our VPIP.
how is Mark not at the top right now? I don't know.
Well, Brett hasn't been here very long, and he has played a lot of hands in a short time.
They've
so
all been.
That kind of pumps up the percentage a
No,
bit.
Mark's been here at the same time as Brett. They both got here at the same time. And I feel like Brett has not been in more hands than Mark. But again, what do I know? I just work here. Sometimes, kinda. Ish.
We do work hard all the time, working very hard. And it has nothing to do with the fact that tall Josh is always listening, but we work very, very hard.
So hard.
Yeah, so now you get it.
I'm
Okay.
sweating. Oh, look at all these playable hands. I love it. Jen double suited, Mike with 2 pairs, Jason double suited with a pair, Chuck with jacks, Mark with the other jacks, Benny with a monster.
The other
Holy
jacks.
smokes. Let's see a flop here. Let's see the 5th jack one time.
Did we use hold? We're not dealing with pinochle decks. You ain't getting another jack.
Oh, wow. Benny says, I love this, Benny. Benny, I love this, buddy. Let's go.
Yeah, less.
He's like, yeah, I know, I don't have it, you know. He's like, it's less. Can't get blood from a stone, buddy.
That's great.
Put on all of his chips, and the dealer was like, no, more. It's 24.
That's good stuff. Well, Jason also put 25% of his stack in already. I feel like this is probably an easy fold, but he might just say, screw it, let's go.
And like pot odds, it's like.
The pot odds are real, but at the same time, his
Yeah,
hand
I
is
know,
not.
I know. I didn't say it was an easy decision, but
Yeah.
how often do you get pot odds like this?
Not often.
And you got to crack the top 4. So
But see,
with
again, this-
8-handed and all these shorter stacks,
You have to get
you
some
gotta
chips.
you gotta
Right.
make a move sometime.
But this goes back to what we were saying earlier, and as you were saying, if you're not going to raise here, just
Right,
fold.
just shove,
Because you're going to have to end up calling anyway, and now you're put into
Right.
a spot. And when it comes down to that, then it makes you think, well, I should have folded in the first place. Because if you're thinking this long and this hard about a
Right.
hand like this,
That's
you
why
should've
it's
just
all
chucked
in or
it.
fold.
Right, right.
So now it's all in or fold, except you lose $4 grand.
Or all of it. There you
Right.
go. And then you just lost 25% of your stack. Look at,
back
I
to
love
Mark.
what Benny here did. I mean, there's
It's,
a lot.
it's really good.
Well, there's a lot of times here where Benny's just going to check this and see a flop.
Right.
I mean,
even if this hand doesn't work out for him, it's
Right.
still a great move.
it's a great move and it's the right move. Wow, both these guys
Because like I
calling
said,
with
because
jacks.
you got to outlive 4 other players, and you're not going to do it with 21K.
Yep, yep. You're right. So Chuck's got really the only hand that can kind of go up against Benny just because he has straight draws at the bottom and he has 2 different flush draws aside from Benny's spades. So Chuck really, I mean, Mark obviously can't hit a straight or, oh wow. Well, that's not terrible. Chuck flopped the flush draw and the straight draw that I was talking about. So
far, so good for Benny.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
An ace. Wow, it's really great for Benny now.
Mark still has straight draw, flush draw.
That's not a lot that beats
Oh,
it.
wow, look at
he
Benny.
boats it up.
Benny, you know what we call that? Max value.
Yeah.
Get it all in pre-flop and then go runner full house.
I'm not sure
Max
there's
value.
a word for 3.5x because it's a little more than a triple up, not quite a quadruple up, but whatever that is, that's what Benny just did.
Just happened. Good for you, Benny. Well played and nice run out.
Gets him up from near the bottom to 4th.
Dude, Chuck was so close to knocking out a player. He had the flush draw and straight draw. I think he was pretty excited about it.
And with that last second entry right before the end of the break, we were paying 4 spots. And, well.
Were we not paying 4 before that last one?
No.
Oh, wow.
It's 10%. At 30 entrants, we're paying 3 spots. At 31, we're paying 4.
Gotcha.
So everybody in the danger zone outside of the top 3. But
Anybody have aces?
But for all these short stacks in the danger zone, the object is be the last one. Get to 4th place.
My other cards are pretty crappy. 2, 8, 4.
And remember, whatever that big blind says, you have to chop that in half. That's the real number because of the big blind ante.
Oh, yes, yes, yeah, that's true.
When did Popeye get here?
Oh,
I was gonna say you got the healthy vitamin water over there, but you didn't bring your spinach.
I did actually. I made a sandwich earlier.
Okay.
It's in the car, and I don't eat lettuce anymore. I only eat spinach or kale or arugula.
Well, that's why you're strong to the finish.
Yep.
I didn't want to.
Well, they can't see you, so you know.
But I can see me, and you can see me. I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it for you.
If I turned the camera on, you would have seen a very impressive flexing display.
I did that
by
for you,
Terry,
Matt.
Right.
I call that the
He
Adonis
eats a spinach,
pose.
and you know.
That's a pretty good flop for Benny. He still has top pair. He's got a flush draw and backdoor straight draws. I'm sorry, backdoor flush draw and a straight draw. Chuck has the open-ended draw right now, but that is it. And Jeff has nienta.
12-5.
So Benny didn't raise pre-flop. Had he raised pre-flop, there would be much more money in the pot, and then you could bet again, and then you would be taking down the pot with about 60K into it. So I don't like checking kings pre-flop out of position. I don't like it. Especially now that the other player has hit the nuts. And he probably would have folded pre-flop with that
Right.
hand. So
Das Nuts, as the Germans say, yeah.
25,000.
Das Nuts, they say that? Das Nuts?
Das Nuts.
Das Nuts.
No, they don't.
Oh.
They say Das Boot. I still haven't had one, but it looks amazing. I don't want to
There's
try
no
it
way
once
you've
before I
never
die.
had a boot before full of beer. There's no way.
Das Boot.
I've
No,
had a-
Das Boot.
Oh,
It's-
Das
it's
Boot.
like
Oh,
this, dude.
Das
It's like
Boot.
2.5 feet
You're
tall.
talking the boot. I got you.
Well, that's
Well, there's different size boots.
that's what it means in German.
What
the
does
boot.
it mean? I
Das
know.
Boot.
But there's different Das boots.
Well,
But you're just talking.
I'm talking about the real one. Yeah.
That's listen.
I know I have not had one of those.
We're on the
But I
same
wanna
page,
try it,
but not.
so.
Chuck's still with the nuts. Benny called with. He had outs, but not many.
Certainly not enough to call it all in. Benny, stop Hollywooding. You're never calling ever.
Ever. I love it. Chuck
Your
just.
hearts were gone, Benny.
Huh?
I had ace high hearts.
Yeah, anything hard, but I don't want that one come out.
think I would've
The wheel will cut.
Benny, you did not want hearts actually.
No.
Chuck had the jack high flush draw. You had 10 high, which means you lose.
You get demolished.
You get nothing, and you will like
No,
it.
I said pot. I said pot before.
Chuck says, I don't care. I had the nuts and the nut redraw, and you were dead to a jack. Excellent.
As a
That's
dealer,
what-
the temptation
no,
is
the big
awful
flop,
to pull
I
that
said
Willy Wonka
pot.
line. Like when a player thinks they win,
No.
and then you
Oh.
point out the other player has the better hand.
lose.
It's like, you lose.
You
You get nothing. Good day, sir.
The schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
Any hard.
I'm so proud of myself.
I
I saw that movie when I was a little kid, and I was like the only kid that got that joke.
There you go. Hey, smile, huh?
Neither one of you can bet.
Smile,
He's like, what's a snozberry? I'm like, don't ask. You're too young to know. So are you? I'm like, yeah, well, I know.
But I still know.
And I wish I didn't.
I'm gonna let Jason see a flop. Wow, I might have just shoved with you if I was Jason
Wow.
there. Just get it in there, buddy. Got half your stack in there,
To the flop we go.
and you would have flopped top too. But now Jen has.
See, Benny has top
wow,
two.
Jen has the nut with the nut redraw. Actually, Brett has the nut. Jen has the second nut with the nut redraw. Wow, we got a lot of. Holy smokes! Wow, he
A lot of
folded.
hands. Yeah.
Wow. I thought Jason.
Jason
I thought
folded,
Jason
right.
had
No,
fives
no.
and threes.
No,
I got
he
you. I got 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 you. Oh yeah, Jen's just in there
Jen
like
just-
swimwear.
Jen goes all in, and we got another all in.
Yeah, I know you were.
What is this? What is happening?
Kind of just sat around for a few hours.
I don't think my
I don't mind it because I get paid for it. And it was definitely good to come
Jen folded his.
Right,
sorry,
Brett's
Chuck
got the
folded
higher
top two.
straight.
Yeah.
But Jen's got
Jen's got a
the
flush draw.
nut flush draw.
That's it. Just a flush draw at this point.
Gutter for a straight flush.
Runner, boat options.
But I have the heart, so you get the deal. It's a heart now.
Bink? Are we binking?
Oh,
no
there's a
bink.
4. Nope.
Wow, he hit a set. Brett hit a set.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, that's just the nuts. No big deal. Look at it.
Wow.
Jen with the dance.
Jen
Dude,
doing
look,
the.
Brett's already in the parking lot. He gone.
Yeah.
It's almost like he knew.
Dun, 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 dun. Bad timing. I mean, Jen, if I did it while she was dancing, though, like, it would have fit perfect.
You didn't.
From the 8 and 16-bit days. They do a little hand dance.
Mike has yet to play a hand at this final table, and he's still the chip leader. It's impressive.
Well, I mean, first it's about getting to the money.
I'm not
So
disagreeing.
there's no need to do battle at this point.
I am not disagreeing with you. I was just stating a fact.
He's just kind of chilling.
I was just commentating on things I can commentate.
Why put yourself at risk when you're in such good shape? Maybe if he were to lose the chip lead.
Now, granted, he hasn't picked up a hand either. I'm sure that
Right.
he's played a little into it, but he's just. That's what makes Mike so good.
Just saying, if he just doesn't play anymore until we get to the top 4.
He'll still be top 2 or top 2 in chips.
Right.
You know.
So he's like, maybe he'll do a little battle then.
The ICM implications are there.
It's the sickest cards.
Jen's got a nice little stack now, huh?
Yep.
120K, no big deal.
Mark with the mystery hand. We can't blame. Well, he put his cards in the box, so can't blame the player this time.
Yep.
I mean, we can. It just wouldn't be very.
Something tells me
polite.
spades are not coming. I'm just guessing on that one.
What are you, some kind of detective? Jason with the nut. Well, not nut flush draw, but flush draw.
Also with a pair of 6s. Mark has probably the best hand, but he's still checking.
15,000.
Chuck has kings. He said, let's just bet it and see what happens. I like that, though. On the button, everybody checks to you. Jason's in there with a pair and a flush draw.
Less, yeah.
Discount Chuck.
So I guess Chuck technically has the best hand now, but Jason actually, 60-40, that's about right. I like Jason's hand, though, because he did flop a pair with that flush draw, so any ace, jack, 6, or 4 would give it to him as well. Well, nah, that's a flush.
That's the flush. So Jason's going to double up.
Oh, Chuck flopped 2 pair. I didn't see that. I thought he just flopped his king.
Keep me in there. Keep me around.
So Jason gets the double up, and well, he's still in the
Just keep me
Except
around
now it's a
to
lot
the
closer
floor and I'll be okay with you. I'm
than it was a moment ago.
Keep me around.
The only hands you win, the all ins. The funny thing is about Norman, I probably wouldn't win all in, but for a short stack. Look at that. It was sideways, like that.
No credit.
Can't read it. I'll get in trouble for that.
Mark and Jeff basically have the same hand, except Jeff's a little better. He's double suited. Mark's going to fold. I like that fold, actually. Benny has also double suited, but just less on both sides. That's a good flop by him, too, actually. Wow, Jeff's going to take this one down, huh? Okay.
Rainbow of garbage.
I don't see that too often in a PLO tournament. Especially with some of those hands. Some of those hands were relatively callable. But I guess they're not playing as deep as either Jeff or Mike. So good folds, I guess.
All right, blinds up.
Blinds up, I hear.
Well, there's too many players here.
Pretty sure it's not the case.
He snapped over.
I look, I'm like, what? I'm like, you shuffled in 3 seconds? That's pretty awesome.
I mean, I always found tournament poker to be kind of like the Hunger Games. They're like, we got to ramp up the stakes here. We want to hear that cannon go off.
Yeah. I want to hear someone get bowed. it's the bow flying through the air. Okay.
Couldn't get into bow hunting much myself.
It's a lot.
Well, I heard it's sport. I'm like, well, I don't shoot the deer for sport. I'm trying to eat some venison. So
I don't. That's not sport, or a sport. Poker also not a sport.
Right. There's no contact.
No, not even that. There's just it's a game. It's not sport. It's a game. Mark flopping nothing. Sorry, I thought he had a flush draw. He doesn't.
Nope.
Jen has a flush draw and a pair. She's gonna check it. Now Mark picks up the nut flush draw and a straight draw.
Mark, now it's a flush draw.
Jen with just the this and the flush draw.
14.
Let me go check to Mark. Mark's gonna accelerate.
I never heard the Squizgar voice on the show before.
I didn't know. Did I do that?
Yeah.
I just have voices. I don't know. What's he from?
Metalocalypse. He's the best in the show. He's the best guitar player, or the fastest guitar player in the world.
Is he the one with the hair?
Well, they all have hair.
Buddy.
No, I mean they all have like
long dark hair.
He's the blonde.
Oh, okay. I don't even know who that guy is because he
looks like this. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he sounds just like Squizgar.
Well, I didn't know I was doing that, but okay.
It's a good show. You should watch it.
I've heard good things.
They weren't allowed to curse on Cartoon Network back then, so instead of a bleep, they put like a metal riff anytime anybody cursed. It was awesome. Like, what the?
That's funny.
And I'm like, that's way better than a beep or just a blank out sound. Just
good.
a quick little metal chord.
Oh no, we're falling out of habit again. Jeff, the only guy putting his cards in the box again.
What's the big secret, guys? We will know all, see all in time. And pair 3 for Jeff, or pair of 3s for Jeff.
30.
Don't rightly know what everybody else has.
Mark's gonna bet it like he's got something. And with 2 players behind him, I believe him. I don't know why, but I do.
Well, you're kind of a trusting guy.
Wow. Chuck's going to snap call. As soon as Benny folds, Chuck's snap calling. Chuck may be on a combo draw, straight draw, flush draw. Well, one of them came through, so I'm guessing one of these guys. Wow.
Combo.
Chuck has the nuts. Chuck definitely got the nuts. Second nuts, good enough.
So
oh wow, set of
wow,
nines.
There's nobody has a flush.
He does. Yeah, he's got a queen high flush. Chuck got a queen high flush.
I was gonna say where, and then you're like there diagonally.
It's that one.
Pretty sneaky, sis.
The one I said he had, except it was not the one. It was the nuts, except not the nuts, but enough for him to say,
but
I don't care, I'm calling.
Enough to win the pot.
Right. Yeah, he did have the combo straight draw flush draw. The 10 would have given him the nuts as well. We are down to
4.
That's 5, buddy.
No, I was going to do that Willy Wonka bit. 4 unfortunate players gone. 5 good players left. Or are we still 6-handed? No, we are still 6-handed.
No, we're 5.
I believe that.
Oh, Jason's still in. He's just not at the table.
Right.
I got you.
You're trying to make him feel good.
So there isn't 5 gone. There's 4 or 3 gone.
Damn it.
6
Damn it. We're both wrong. But mostly me.
It happens.
Who can make the sun rise?
Yeah, Mark did.
They had a big hand. Mark
became the man.
Mark flopped a set of 9s. He actually flopped.
A little disappointed, but at the same time not.
And coming back to join us, our dealer with his beard of justice. All right, the graphic, well, the graphics are half right. There were 31 entrants, but there are definitely not 8 players left. There are 6.
Once in a while. But it's also easy when you have nothing in to fold. Pretty easy.
Well, all I know is I'm here after.
Well, we'll find out if Jason has a 5 here in a second. I'm willing to bet no, because I'm pretty sure we would have seen
there's
a
another
bet.
one.
Well, that too.
That helps. our
Statistical
chances.
probability of a 5 is pretty slim.
Jason got ace 5.
5's full of 8s. Jason's gonna take it.
Good thing about Omaha. 2 cars got a player.
A really bad 5 on the turn for Chuck.
Yeah, you have a pair. There's 3-5 in there.
3-5 made it look good.
5 jack would have been good. Would have 5 ace jack. Ace 5 5 5.
All right, Chuck versus Mike.
I'll check. How's that? That's scary. Huh? That's scary.
Mike saying that's scary. But the way he's played today, Mike fears nothing.
I'll check one more time.
30,000.
See, Mike doesn't even have anything, and he bets 30,000.
Well, when the
That's
previous
not a
guy
sign
checks
of,
it twice.
Right, that's not a sign of fear. That's a sign of you got nothing, and I'm going to take this pot now.
Yep.
You play poker at all, Corey?
It's funny because Chuck kind of smells something. He's like, if Mike had an ace or 2 pair, he might have bet the flop. The only thing he's really putting him on here is maybe ace 9, but
An ace or a 9 beats him.
Chuck
That's-
realizes that he's got blockers to the nuts, but he's already playing it like he doesn't have it. Like if he had the nuts, he wouldn't be looking at his cards that way. He wouldn't be fingering his cards like that. I mean, it's just nothing about what nothing about what Chuck is doing right now is screaming strength. So
Can you smell what Mike is cooking?
if Chuck had played it, this a little differently, he could have played the blockers.
What is this?
Wow.
Shocking.
I'll check on
I was going to say, no matter what comes in
Wow,
that
now he's
river,
got
Chuck
2 pairs.
better bet it.
No, he can't. Wow, is Mike gonna?
I was going to say, Mike's just going to fire. I can't see him checking with the check in
Mike-
front of him.
Oh,
Yep.
wow, Chuck's got 2 pair. He might call too. Is that a fold? It's
That's
got to
a
be right.
fold.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
And throws it away instantly. He's like, I want to see it. It was already gone.
I am so impressed with what
that
Mike
was-
just did there.
I had ace king 5.
That's the
Yep.
thing. I mean, that's for everybody watching. Like, because bluffing is part of the game. But if you see somebody bluff at the turn or at the flop, really, you better keep bluffing.
No, they both check the flop. They both check the flop, and then
No, I
Mike-
said that and it gets checked into you, and you bluff at it, which Mike clearly did. At the river, you better bluff again.
right. Or else, what's the point of bluffing
It's
on the
like
turn?
it-
Right. You have to follow through.
It's an old Wanda Sykes bit.
You got to
Like,
tell
if
the
you're going to
story.
lie, you got to stick to your lie.
It's true.
That lie's got to become the truth for you.
But it's more impressive. But you know what, though? And that was the whole thing. When Chuck was doing that thing with his cards, you could tell that he wasn't strong, and then the river didn't look
Right.
like it would do anything to help him
Yeah,
to
anything
complete any kind of...
anything that less than a monster bet. That's the only thing that got him that pot. And that's what he did. He put out a monster bet. And sure, I mean, Mitch had 2 pair, but they were 6s and 5s. Any kind of 2 pair beats you at that point. I don't think you're gonna bluff Chuck out of this one. A little harder.
much in this game.
They don't know how to play.
And nobody wants to play. Well, you
I
got
had a perfect
pocket
hand.
kings,
Bust all
man.
that, of course.
With an ace.
It'll make you pay to see it. The perfect hand.
King
Bust
10 of
that.
diamonds? I mean, because I'm funny. Are you sure that's not the fan? Because I do have the fan going into my mic.
Well, actually, they catch up.
Yeah.
Like if we play through it, like after this break, it'll end up catching up to where it's.
All right, our updated chip counts. We're paying 4 spots today. Yeah, can't fully blame the players for this because they are putting the cards in the box.
Sorry, guys.
They're hard. They feel like little
Sometimes.
cardboard boxes.
Sometimes. I mean, see, now those cards overlap, but they should still be reading when they're in the box, right? Even when they overlap like that. They should
Yeah,
still
yeah.
be
No,
reading.
they were even there. Because Jeff's had him in a neat little stack the whole game, and we've been picking up his cards.
Okay.
They just have to be in that box, and the machine will pick up the signal. All right.
Mike's got a pretty good hand there. Yeah, he's thinking about raising. Oh, actually, it's on Jason right now? Okay,
Jason,
yeah.
yep. A bit short stack, Jason.
I
is,
wouldn't have
so-
minded to see a pot bet out of Jason there. Flopping top pair.
Well, 3 people behind you, you kind of want to feel like where you're at.
Jeff's got the wrap.
I'll check.
9.
I'll check.
Well, there's. Nope, that doesn't help.
Nope.
54.
See if Jeff tries to rep a 4
I have no
here.
idea what Jen has, but she has to be better than Jeff.
Well, no, she's definitely better than Jeff. Jeff has the nut low, but I'm saying Jen's got to have a king here, but Jeff's going to represent the 4.
Well, that's what you got to do.
Right.
He got checked into twice.
Right.
Bet you got my 2 pair beat.
Good bet, Jeff.
Yep.
Mike, better than 4 2 pair.
It's not always about the cards. Sometimes it's about the position.
Yeah, it doesn't.
What?
Well, what does it matter about it too? Because the 4s play automatically. So you
No,
have.
I know. I'm saying he probably had a set. I guess I'll
Oh,
say.
oh,
He probably had
All
a
right,
set.
Benny's been up and down all day, but he's down big time. And at 366, this will be his last orbit, so he's got to make a move pretty quick here the next couple of hands.
It would
Check
be
it
it.
out.
That would have been it.
Still not interested.
Nope, not interested. Was good at the flop. Ranky at the turn.
Jeff, no doubt, enjoying the massage more than those cards.
Yeah, the river. That was better, right?
He kind of had yuck face when he looked at him.
All I'll say is that sometimes we just have to play the game.
30,000.
Jason doing the same thing, calling off quarter of his stack, and then
Right,
now you're faced to another bet again.
He's got a decent hand, too, so I'm a little surprised at that.
Yeah. Tough spot. Oh, wow, Jen with a monster.
Yeah,
Holy
Jen.
smokes.
She put out a big raise, too.
Yeah.
It's pretty decent.
Really nice.
Good. Yeah, it's great. I mean, I don't play Omaha very often, but yeah, I kind of wish for hands like that when I do play.
Yes, I do also like that hand. It's a good hand to have, especially when everybody just folds you and see a flop. You're a winner. You win. You win everything.
Look, everyone's putting their cards in the boxes all nicely. Our message must have been received
Right.
15 minutes ago.
Yeah, you guys can't see us, but very strongly worded text came. Terry's like mashing the keys like it's the phone's fault, and then rears his hand back and smashes it to hit send.
Son of a bitch. Oh, now see, that's the hand. That's the one I want. I want that more than aces, I think.
Right.
I got
Oh,
double
ace king,
pair.
queen jack.
Damn, yeah.
All right, I said Benny had to do something, and well, he did something.
Does Benny have 2 pairs? Oh, nice.
Eights and trays, yeah.
Nice. Oh, well, that's not the one you want.
Definitely not.
Dead to a 3 or an 8.
And that's neither of those. Jeff hits a book, king's full.
Benny, I thought you played really good today, bud. You're going to be out in 6th place. And honestly, if I'm under the gun and I'm looking down at 3s and 8s with, you know,
right,
blinds at 3, 6.
He was about to be big blind as well.
Right,
so
that's
I'm
my
like,
point.
Eights and trays.
That's the one. I'm not waiting for a big blind, I don't think.
You're not going to do better in the next hand.
No, what I'm saying is somebody might do $10 or $20.
Right, that's what I'm saying. We have to decide.
That will do that. So.
I don't know how people play down here, so I'm just saying I don't know.
Well, it sounds like these guys are going to all put in
So
for,
now there's 5.
they're going to put in $3. It's 150, right? 150 buy-in?
Right.
So they'll all put in 30 bucks. 5th place will get their money back.
30, 60, 90.
And away we go.
150. There you go.
We'll take it out of our pocket. Okay. We'll take it out of our pocket. Doesn't matter.
So that's why I asked
I won't do it
everybody.
again.
No,
I know the
that-
rules down here are a little different too.
Even if that math, which it doesn't, by the way.
Yeah, it does.
Because it's an additional 30.
That was a bubble boy.
Never mind. I'll explain later.
I want you to explain now. Well, technically, we talk about it every time.
Sometimes it just happens too fast.
Right. And we can't even get it out because the hand goes on. We're not supposed to discuss it if the hand is in play.
Just like, I mean, it's
Okay.
It's like in Minnesota, it's always.
Well, sometimes we bend the rules, and we do every time.
Down here,
Talk about it.
Sometimes we do it, except all the time.
No one's ever said anything to me about it, and we talk about it every time.
On the action.
Well, no,
And they're literally taking the money. Look, she's taking the money out of her purse.
No, see, they just
Right.
No, I understand completely
No, I
what you're
get you.
saying.
I didn't realize that was a thing, and I still don't realize it.
It's just some things.
Jen, you can give hand it to me. Hold on.
I know some things are a little different down here.
Check.
I don't know how I
See with that Russian again.
like
Lucky
nothing.
quarter.
It was good hand to change for.
These guys are all breaking out money to buy drinks for each other.
Perhaps they will be ordering from our fabulous Paddock restaurant.
It is fabulous. You know what I like on there? The chicken sandwich with the avocados and the goat cheese and the aioli. It's delicious.
That sounds really good.
And the wings are always good
Wings
too.
are good. The steak tip sandwich, also a big hit.
Is it? Okay.
Yep.
I have 30.
Oh, you did.
And it depends on whether or not I hit another parlay. I've been hitting parlays lately, but if I hit this one, I believe she'll try the awesome tomahawk steak we have here at the Paddock restaurant.
It is actually fabulous. It is so good.
I don't know, considering
What do you parlaying usually? You do player props or like game bets? Games?
Games. It's not gonna be till the weekend.
Well, obviously. Yeah. No, I didn't think you were doing basketball or hockey.
Actually, I recently hit a 4-team hockey parlay recently.
You want to know something I read the other day? They said that they did a survey on DraftKings and FanDuel, and
I'm gonna quick pee break.
they said 85% of the money of the profits they make, the money they make, is off of parlays. 85%.
Right. No, I understand why.
Insane to me.
So what happened last time?
Mike with a monster here.
You didn't know I.
Like an actual monster.
Well, I mean, I can't.
Bing, 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 bing.
I got none of it.
That was a good one.
And I had 10 Jack Queen.
Yeah, but you didn't have Ace Jack Jack 10 with diamonds, did you, Chuck?
Quick pee break.
Thank sweet baby Jesus.
seniority, that's what it is.
I'm covering my orange chips, Rob. You can't have them.
So yeah, the chip psychology was getting to be a bit much with all the orange. So
He's got more over there.
is this just a TV timeout that they're doing here for the color up, or is this actual break?
Oh, it might be a break.
Yeah, find out if it was break.
well, after the reset. I mean,
Please.
Yeah, I mean,
I forgot to say
just
please.
shuffle. Just shuffle. Then you gotta break it. Or set it, I should say, right? That's the correct term. Set the deck. But you only have 3 chips?
yeah, 3.
Get 'em. I don't even want an ace. I'll take a queen. Not the 4. Fuck,
no,
dude. James, come on, man.
Is that 2, right?
Yeah,
That's some bullshit. No, you
it
give
was 2. I had 3, so it's 2.
Yeah. That is some bullshit. And they're all clubs? Did you shuffle that deck?
I did. I even shuffled it more than I needed to.
That is some bullshit, man.
I haven't seen you win one of those races in a long time.
Even when I have 4 chips.
I
Do you want
know.
stacks or you good?
I've seen that, but you not win.
All right, looks like this was a break. So
You want me to get rid of these or?
hang out for us, and we'll bring you more of our final table action
I know.
when we come back. All right, everybody, and welcome back. Players, looks like they don't want the full 10-minute break, and they'll be coming back just a little early. But here we have our chip counts. We got Mike with 213K, Chuck with 152K, Jeff 133K, Jen with 98, and Jason at 15K. We are 5 players remain. Out of 31 entrants, we are paying 4 spots.
He raised 25, someone made it 75.
So it looks like and at this stage of the game, if the players want to skip part of the break, they are allowed. If they don't want any break at all, they can do it that way as well.
It's a jack-eye board. I got pocket kings. What am I going to do?
He gave away
A lot
He gave just around 30% of his stack to fold. Yeah, that fold.
And back to live-ish action.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, if you roll behind you,
Jian's under the gun.
Draw's gonna hit.
Folds it.
Yeah, it's nice to have a set, but like, why even shove the turn there?
Jeff still enjoying the services of our fabulous massage therapists we have here at the Action Palace. Should you happen to come in and play, just look for one of our therapists around either the tournament room or the cash room and ask them what their current rates are.
So we'll go this weekend. Be fun. So just the husband. So the wife will just ride around in the car with us.
Hang on.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. No, we all hang out. Yeah. Have some drinks, do whatever.
Chuck flopping 2
We're
pair.
not driving anywhere.
Jason with the flush draw.
She was calling to say, should we
Now it looks
bring
like
our
Jason's
dogs?
all in.
No.
It's going to go for the double up.
That's pot action. See, you just didn't want to let me have
Chuck
it. You
with
wanted to take
Chuck with
advantage of
2
the
pair
little
potting.
Are you the little
Trying to get a
guy?
side pot going, but
Are you all in?
Mike's not having any of it.
Good luck, honey.
I got 3 pair.
At king high, diamond.
Don't do it.
3
So
pairs.
yes, 3 pair. Well, only 2 of them count, but it's still pretty good.
Diamonds are
I had to get you out of there.
I had 3 diamonds.
I can't be too.
Jason has only 4 outs. And that's not one. He picks up some more outs though.
Who we out there? Ooh, that
With
was
straight
close.
no, but doesn't get one there. So first hand back from break. The short stack Jason
Nice playing with you.
is eliminated, and with that,
Mike has the money, right?
our last player to not get paid is eliminated. So these 4 are in the money. And look at the updated chip stacks. It's Mike with Chuck right on his heels, and then Jeff in third, and Jen, the short stack here.
I had king jack XX and the jack
there were
was
3
like
more diamonds. 3 more.
But the difference here being everybody here is going to walk out with with some money.
And I had a pair. And then I got Broadway draw, and I was like, no.
You're like, don't get better.
Trust me. That's the only reason I bet. See, but remember, I don't know how to play this game. What do you do in that position? What would you do if I'm just sitting with my hand right there?
Well, in a
Play, yeah.
but
You
in a
you
sense,
have your own full
I
house
know.
out.
In a tournament,
this is the
I
bubble.
know. I know.
But it was
I
If
know.
we're both in there,
I know.
one of
But
us
it
is
was
beating him there.
Yeah, no, I get you.
And if
Oh,
the
so you
diamond
wanna
comes,
get
then he's
one.
alive.
After I made the bet, I thought that. I said, tournament. This is.
He had already gone in.
I'm trying to
He
get somebody
folded
out of
it.
Yeah.
Right.
So
No,
I mean, that's
no, he's
a
talking
different.
about what
And
you've
I've done it too. I'm
Yeah.
doing the
Pot
exact
there
same thing where
is-
people look at me like, you fucking nuts
it's a
right
bubble.
now?
It's a different. I
It's a
can't.
bubble
I gotta
spot,
get that
and you
mindset.
shouldn't pot.
Yeah. Different
But-
tournament because I don't play it very often.
But at the same time,
So,
we're
but
in this spot.
You see
protect
what
your
I
hand,
do?
but still.
I mean,
That's a cash.
at
still
least it
win.
worked out.
Rock
That's
and
a
roll.
It would have sucked
You
if he
still
hit
win.
the flush.
All right, 3-way action. We got Chuck with 8s, Jen with jacks, and I don't know what the flip Jeff has.
Yeah,
Would've
check,
actually
so
done.
the other
I think
one.
it's because it's the bubble. That's why.
Yeah, well,
I should have.
well, congratulations. We're in the money.
Let's.
All right, Jen with a getter
Queen and.
and a flush draw. Jeff bets 20K with his mystery hand. 20K. That's about a quarter of Jen's remaining stack. So Jeff applying the pressure, and he's going to get this pot.
All of it.
Yeah.
I have diamonds and I have straight draw. All kinds.
I
of
had
stuff.
the flush draw.
Well, I had jack
had
high
a big
diamonds.
pair.
I had jack high diamonds.
Not that big pair.
I saw second nut. I'm
Oh, you had
basically
jack
second
high
nut.
diamonds.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You're
I
not
had
the
the
you're not
jack.
the blind.
I have a pair of jacks and the flush draw and the diamonds too. They're not jack, obviously. All right. Fours.
He hasn't missed a
Every
Thursday
frickin'
in
week,
the last
I'm
9
told.
months.
I don't think you weren't here last week.
He wasn't here. He
Yeah,
wasn't
he
here
wasn't.
last week. Or the week before. You weren't here for the past 2 weeks.
And then before that, I've been.
And Jeff would know.
Well, I usually see you down on the ultimate table.
Every once in a while.
Running and bumping.
No, he's been
What is it?
here,
Bump and
just not
run
in the
on the.
tournament. Yeah.
Bump and run.
The
Yeah.
ultimate table.
Well, he bumps and runs. Oh, it's that
quick.
bad. I can't even.
All right, Jen doesn't even want to fight for that,
What was it?
for the
Rainbow
blind
garbage.
Oh,
with that
yeah.
particular hand. So Jeff, I believe that's the first walk of the live stream.
No, I had
Something
9.
crazy.
Jeff will take a trot on down to first
4,
base
7 of all mixed
with
up.
that pot.
That's what I had. Jack 8-6.
I only say that hand because that's one of the few hands I was beating.
That's what I had.
I had Queen 10, 8 something.
Jack 8-6 deuce in the bad
I
position.
mean, I would have played it just not calling a pot. But oh my God, where's Gigi? I can tell her I faded her to make a final table and in the
That's
money.
it.
I tried to get her to
Twice.
stay here. Final table.
All right, friends. Goddamn chop.
All right, I tell you what, if Terry doesn't come back soon, I'm gonna have you take up this headset.
Sorry, I got a hug at him.
Yeah. Go.
Right, the previous dealer Mike
She's all in on her
briefly
hugs.
joining me at the broadcast
She
booth.
just gives her, I mean, just, boom, she's all.
Meanwhile, Jeff and Chuck see a flop.
Check.
Flush draw for Chuck. Pair of 10s for Jeff.
Check.
Chuck, forget the flush draw and then remember it.
What pair
Because
do you
Chuck hit a king, then he hit the flush.
It's a big one.
Oh,
It's a
baby,
I guess the
now
flush is
on.
gonna win if he
That's
asks.
A 5-high flush. It's going to take this pot down.
Flip over the 3 of clubs would have been funny.
And you can tell how proud I am.
I was gonna flip over the 6, like I had the 6 of clubs there too.
You can tell how proud I was of it.
Your king was winning.
I wasn't real proud of it.
All right, it's pretty much been the Mike show today, but Chuck making headway, only 6K behind.
Didn't bet King 5 very well.
And even though Jeff is not far behind, he's less than 40K behind the chip lead. He is in the danger zone because the blinds keep rising so fast. Something's got to give here. See Jeff with 4s and a suited ace-5.
There aren't 4 cards that Mark doesn't like.
And it does the trick. Jeff will pick up some antes and blinds.
3-6 Jack.
Oh, I mean, I checked.
Raised to 22.
Gotta look, Chuck, gotta look.
No, just put him in.
Ooh, it's decent. All right,
Okay,
I'm
good.
putting it in, Chuck.
All right. See what happens.
Okay.
Well, not a lot going on that flop. Chuck does take the lead with a pair of 6s.
23,000. Oh, no, sorry, 28,000.
I don't know how I get this. I'll fold.
All right, Jen feeling the pressure.
The only low card I had was the
Yeah, we'll look at. This
Every
was
time
a
she's in a
beautiful-
hand, the other players
Had the same card.
apply that
Had the
pressure.
same cards other than the
That was a
6.
beautiful hand. Check with that flop. Didn't even catch one of them.
The blinds come quick when you're four-handed.
I only knew that.
So Jen's she's gonna have to pick up a pot here.
I only knew that. I don't know how to play. You see me? You see my moves? I don't know what I'm doing. Shouldn't have bet there if I had her drawn dead.
All right, going to lead off with Chuck with jacks. A suited Jack 10. Pretty good hand. Definitely worth seeing.
Call.
Jeff, decent hand in the big line. All right, so we got ourselves a family pot.
Check.
A couple of club draws out there. Mike's got the best club draw.
11,000.
Jeff has the top pair.
I think I'm just backing down now.
Call. Jen bows out, so three-handed to a turn. An 8 of hearts.
3 players.
Jeff's got 2 pair now, queens and 8s. Chuck picked up a gutter to go with his flush draw. And Mike still has his king high flush draw, but Jeff's gonna look to put an end to this right meow. All right, Chuck makes it 73 to go. I'm sorry, Jeff made it 73. Chuck called. I misspoke.
Sorry.
You can tell Mike really wants to play this draw, but 73 is a touch much, so he's going to fold. River card, a 7 of spades. And Chuck, with a 7 on the river, is going to pull this hand out.
All in.
All in. Jeff put out a big bet, and Chuck went all in. Jeff really doesn't want to fold, but probably knows he's beat, and probably knows he got beat on the river. Jeff did say earlier that it's hard to be right all the time, and well, he's right that he's beat, and that don't make it any easier to take. Jeff asking to see the cards after it's over. But even if Chuck don't show, Jeff can always see the replay. As hard a fold as that is, Jeff, that was the correct move.
Did have jacks and a 7. No kidding.
And Chuck shows that he made the right move.
You don't
Gives
have
up the
enough
information.
Yeah,
That would be crazy.
it could be a bluff.
And say hello to your new chip leader, Chuck.
Could not be winning. Could not be winning, but you know.
Man, I had turned the world. When you called there, I was like, all right, this might be my
chip
clubs.
count. Chuck with nearly
Well, I had
2/3
higher
of the
clubs,
chips
yeah.
on the
Listen,
table.
I wasn't real happy with
Yeah,
the
I had
clubs.
king high clubs with an open ender on the turn.
And Jeff
It's
and
like,
Jen, the
how
two
am I
short
holding this?
stacks.
I held them out.
They did.
Wow, pretty crazy.
You have so many clubs that you can't hit. And I have top 2 pair.
You had clubs? You had clubs?
I had king, queen, 8.
Did you have clubs?
Yeah, I had clubs.
And I had clubs. My
I had
whole
king.
hand was
I had
clubs.
king, queen,
All
9,
Oh,
ace.
so
I don't have
no clubs were coming.
No,
All
all
right.
the lows were mine.
Jeff
Yeah,
with
your-
just
your deck,
37K left. I know it says
I
33
had the
One
gut-
club
I had the
out.
gutter. I had a jack
for
and a
4.
10.
Jen
Well, clearly the only
opts
club out there
nuts
was
to
the
be in
ace
this
to
No,
hand.
I had like the 9, the 6, the whatever. I had all the low clubs. That's why I'm looking at it going, I'm not playing this when the clubs dropped. I'm thinking, I'm not playing
If I
this.
knew all the routes were gone, I wouldn't
So
have
I
called.
lost again.
It was. They were pretty much gone.
Oh my god, that's why I
They had gone.
I don't know how to play
Clean
this game.
river.
Remember, I don't know how to play this game.
Yeah, you just hit a 2 out par. What else you do?
There was a 9? No, there was no 9. It was 7, 8. I had the 9 in my hand.
Yes.
All right, to the flop they go. And Jeff flopping 2 pair, just like last time.
I'm going to fold. It's so stupid. I have top 2 pair.
But Chuck flopped a flush. And that is really bad luck for Jeff, these last 2 hands. But he avoids the elimination.
I don't want you to be steaming and make a bet.
Yeah, we say it a lot on this show. This is the only game where you can do everything right, be right about everything, make every shrewd tactical move, and still lose.
The board was all diamonds. Yeah. And like every board was diamonds, remember? They would come up diamonds. And I had like didn't I have like ace, king, queen, jack? One of them was a big one. I was like, wow, sorry.
All right, Jen. Well, it might look to the other players like she's trying to fold her way to 3rd place, but she's just been getting really bad cards lately. I mean, this is a free hand for Jeff, but it's got an ace-queen in it, and there's not going to be a lot of free hands left at this point. Jeff makes it 28 to go, leaving 1 orange chip
I knew
behind.
Mike was coming.
Now they're going to
Mike
use.
is coming
Now they're going to
on.
use against me what we talked about using against him. They're just going to flat.
So 3-handed. Chuck also has an ace-queen against Jeff's
Nice
ace-queen,
point,
but Chuck's is suited. Ooh, and both of them flop a low pair. 5s for Jeff, 6s for Chuck.
One left.
And we have no idea what Mike has.
No red button. Now you get it.
Jeff goes all in for his last K.
There you go. Everybody's in.
All right, turn card
Oh, you already did it. That was your card.
What the hell?
is a
Yeah,
jack.
I was trying to dish it. You already did it.
Check when you stop.
Yes.
So a gutter draw for both Jeff and Chuck. And nope, that's not it. We do not know what Mike has, but Chuck has the better hand between
I'm not winning, but it doesn't matter.
between him and Jeff.
Fuck you guys.
Hi, Jeff.
And I believe that's King Queen that Mike has, which would give him a straight to the king. All right.
Okay. I guess I'm the
So
one holding
with
the
that
map.
elimination, Jeff's going to walk out of here today with $356.
Right?
Eliminated in 4th place.
Yes, Michael?
What?
You said 3 times. Did he?
4, I think.
That's 4.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he said 4 times. He said it.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
That sucks. And he was really good.
What, with this,
Deep stack,
with your,
too.
that hand with the 7? Oh, nowhere. You have the fucking world. I probably shouldn't have folded my hand. I think I had a better draw than you did. But I didn't have the jack.
All right.
Going to lead off with
He said
Chuck,
guys.
our
He
chip
didn't say
leader,
girls.
with a
So
suited
that was-
You
King
were in
Queen.
five.
Wow,
You were
King
in
Queen
five.
Jack 9.
No,
Heck of a
guys.
hand.
No, he said you guys.
Everybody at the table.
Damn it all. I was
What is that,
giving you the
range?
benefit of the doubt.
And makes it 18 to go.
Aw.
A snap fold,
Just a little
and
raise. It's not a big raise.
that's pretty much all in for Jen.
18.
It's not quite all in, but
18. All right, I'll take it back. Can I take it back?
Son of a bitch. All right.
Jen not pleased with the raise.
Okay.
I actually have cards.
I actually have cards. I haven't had cards, so it's good. I'll
And to the
check.
flop we go.
Thank you.
An 8 for Jen, a king
Just
for
one.
Chuck.
All right, check one more time.
Okay.
Just one more time.
All right, one more.
And
Okay,
two
check.
pair now. Jen only has 2 cards to catch, and that's
I'm
not
checking.
one of
Are you
them.
checking?
Chuck's
Okay.
going to win with his kings and trays with a queen.
Hey.
Wow, so nice.
And then I had a queen and a jack and a 10.
Yeah, Jen had, actually that's a decent hand, especially
I was in
Guys are all
trouble.
three-handed.
I folded. Was there a 5 on the board?
No.
Oh, good.
Oh, it's five.
Yeah, pocket
Oh
five.
my God.
With a
Okay,
king.
guys, look where I'm at. I'm at the last hurrah.
The last hurrah.
No.
Listen, you saw what.
It's my
All right, just shy of 2/3 of the chips
24
Chuck's got.
is my number. It's the age I'm identifying with right now. Five, 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 five.
It's gone up.
Oh, it is
Yep.
up. 10, 10.
Ooh, 5, 10, 10.
Should I even look, guys? Should I even look?
That's up to you.
Well, I do get 2 more rounds after this, so yeah,
Yeah.
I should probably look, right? I get 2 more rounds. Okay.
Hey, good playing, guys.
Bye. Oh, that's it. Bingo.
Oh, that's not me.
Oh, I thought it was me. How you Pat?
I'm going to call.
Oh, good. That's it.
Hot. Hot. No, no.
24 or 4.
That-
Oh, I
you
thought
got
it
it,
was
24?
24. It's 14. It's even worse than I thought. I kept saying 24.
What's that?
It's 14.
It's only 14.
But you said pot.
Well, I just was trying to make sure all her chips were in the pot.
I said, right. You say pot.
That's all.
Oh, come on. Root for Jennifer. Go, Jennifer. Go, Jennifer. Go, Jennifer.
So
Come on.
Jennifer's
Don't
all
make
in.
it
Pretty
Yankee.
good hand, but everybody has an ace king.
Big. Bigger.
check.
Biggest. Big.
Chuck's leading with his
Check.
pair
The
of
heck is this,
jacks.
Jameson?
It's a grower.
Huge.
All little cards.
Really? Of course, this time I have all high cards. Look at this time I have
So
all
Chuck's
high cards.
jacks
and
are going to
you
win
give me
this
that.
one.
Well, your-
All low
your eye
cards
cards are
on
in
the
trouble.
board.
Oh, we're a little in trouble. All right.
All right,
That's
so Jen is
crazy.
eliminated.
Fell asleep for a minute.
That's all I could do. That's it. That's all she wrote.
What do you want to do? Chop?
Whatever you
I
want.
don't. No, I don't care.
I'm always willing to chop. I'm always, yeah, we can chop that. You want ICM chop? Just because you deserve
What?
that.
What? Here's. Well, I don't.
Well, it's 1,600 and a little over 1,000. So what do you want to do?
I don't care. I don't want any of the points. I don't care because I don't.
Oh no, the points that I don't.
You take first place.
Well, I can't do that. They won't let us do that.
Yeah, they're going to give you first because you have more chips.
Yeah.
Okay, well then let's play a hand and you beat me a hand so you get first place and then we can split the money however you want.
Oh. I heard that.
Yeah.
Just did it
Winky,
live.
winky. Winky, winky.
I don't care. Let's split it. We'll split it half. Half and half.
Yeah.
All right. That works.
What are you doing?
We're
Even chop?
playing.
Oh,
We're
playing.
Yeah. All right. Let's see if you know how to do this.
I didn't even play the video. Well, who was big blind last time? Do you know?
I was.
He was.
You see what I would have potted that last hand.
Yeah. No, I was like, whoa, my God, I have to fold
They-
this.
looks like they're
I'm
gonna
looking at
play
the
for
card.
now.
I'm looking at my. I remember and I'm saying, okay, I got to get him out of the hand. Call.
All right, Mike's got kings, and he's going to pot it.
I'll defend.
Chuck, just make sure you put them in the box.
A couple of sevens and a couple of clubs. Mike's ahead, but Chuck's got a lot of outs.
Now you're going to defend, huh?
Turn card, a 9.
130.
Oh yeah, I did. I knew I hit the club. Yeah. It's all about hitting the club.
All right, so Mike takes a heck of a bite out of Chuck's chip lead. Leaves now 81K.
It's quick when it's just the two of us now.
30.
All right, pots it, and we'll see a flop.
Check.
Gut shot from Mike. Still a gut shot from Mike. Needs a 10. And all Mike's got is queen high.
Pretty dang good flop.
Not very good.
Like, oh, wait a minute.
I see Chuck's mystery hand in. He had a 9. Didn't see what else he had, but the 9 was pretty much all he needed there.
Turn made it a little better. I said, hit something. Hit the 9.
Oh, and I forgot to mention Jen, who was eliminated. She's walking out with $535 today. Not bad for a good 5-hour day of work. Chuck with a pair of 10s and a king to go with it. Just calls there. Flush draw for Mike.
20,000.
And open-ender for Mike as well. And there's a club.
50.
So there was a 10 on the flop to give Chuck a set. So Chuck has outs. Any pairing of the board, and there it is, Chuck. 10's full of 6s.
100.
I'm just going to call. Yeah.
Calls. And Chuck shows him the boat. Boat over flush.
Just take first place, Chuck. I'm not going to come back. Which happened. Yeah.
Alright, you guys try.
Well, Chuck, if Chuck really wanted to try, he could have repotted it and folded.
You know what?
That would have been the way to do it.
I
honestly
was waiting for you to repot.
All right, it's looking
Because
like the
that's
players
exactly
have
what I was saying
agreed to
when after
chop.
I made that bet, I said, repot it. I'll just fold it.
2,670.
Because I thought about that after I made the bet. I said, this isn't for money anymore.
Right. Now it's just,
All right, everybody, that's going to do it here. The two players agreed to chop the remaining 2,670 evenly. So that's going to do it here from the Action Palace today. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe so you can be instantly notified of when we go on air. Tomorrow, we're going to have our, I believe, our 5K Deep Stack $130 buy-in tournament, so you don't want to miss that. And then Saturday, we're going to have our Progressive Bounty Tournament. That's always a big event, lots of action as players chase down the bounties. So, like I said, like, follow, subscribe if you have not done so already. We'd like to thank everybody for joining us. Shout-outs to my broadcast partner, Terry, as well as our production crew, Trevor, Gene, and James. And he was just here, too, so James. So thanks, guys, and thank you all for tuning in. And on behalf of myself, Matt F., thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you next time for our Friday Deep Stack tournament right here at the Action Palace at Pbkc. Have a good night, everybody.